We need some things on this coffee
I'm gonna get
right
some.
now. Yeah, we got to put some.
Don't
on.
all leave. He wasn't ready.
Oh.
Spit it out. Like raid around us and then now leave.
Burn our house down, yes!
Are we important?
We be simping in this game.
Yeah.
Hey!
Could you do that, but with pockety?
Oh, wank my wank off.
No!
Oh, I feel like...
Oh, look out for the hole.
There's a hole, come on!
Not a tiny one. And they go...
I got the Will over
Okay.
here. He's not there.
Favorite guilty pleasure?
Yeah, I don't have anything, obviously, that jumps to mind.
Again, feels no shame, no guilt.
No guilt.
I think that's it. Bob comes off.
Do you fall asleep sitting in the shower?
Sometimes, but not often.
The
mannequin. The other side.
I care about this.
It's too late. We can't do anything about it. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Back Pocket for Thursday, the 27th of May, live from the Loki Studios. I'm Nick Richardson, and tonight on the show, Mia Culpa, Mia Gamer, and if we have time, you a picture.
Gus likes that one.
Very clever and funny. This bit doesn't work quite as well, but there's no Mia in team because there most certainly is. And I'm joined by
Gus, you should have just stopped after that. I'm not even going to dare try and outdo that. That was delightful. Next to me.
It's Stephanie who's about to go on a holiday.
With who?
With you.
And who are you?
It's with me, and I'm dressed tonight by the wonderful evil spy boy. My shirt says "Grandma needs some sugar," which I think I said on the show 2 weeks ago.
You did.
I don't recall why, but I did,
It was in. We were talking about
and that's me.
that picture of you, and you were
in a
saying
lovely sundress.
you're in a sundress with a wig and some smeared lipstick.
But I thought he said Grandma needs some sugar before we showed the picture.
of it came up.
I think you're right.
Because I thought the picture was in post-show, and Grandma needs some sugar was in main
was
show.
a separate conversation.
Yeah.
But somebody said, I think maybe somebody said we need Pete on a T-shirt with that image of him when he was dressed up as a woman.
Yeah, I don't know. Regardless, I'm so happy. I was all excited because I was like, I've got the cool new shirt this week. This will be the one that everybody likes. It's the mask shirt. Everyone loves the mask. And then I got completely out-shirted because that's
Grandma
phenomenal.
needs some sugar.
You even said you wanted the shirt in a bigger size so that you could wear it.
Well, the problem is Pete stumbled onto something super cool, which is asking
shirt.
Yeah, asking people to send
and now you're
weird
jealous.
shirts. And I wear a lot of bold shirts.
You sure do.
I know how you feel.
Oh, bless you, stock image of a man. But I now want people to send Pete those shirts in XL so that I too can enjoy them because you're never going to wear that except for when you're
They've got a nice
making love.
They've got a nice box they're getting boxed into in the office.
They can be on.
So they'll come back. They'll
they
enter
can be
a
on a
rotation
rotation.
again.
He's not turning up to
but
the
if you're
front
gonna wear
desk
them,
of the hotel they're going to this weekend.
Excellent.
Room booked under burn.
totally.
Grandma needs some sugar.
Amazing.
What do you mean passport? I have my face right here.
Well, I am excited that you guys are going away. I'm going away this weekend as well, which I'm going away. There's a bunch of families going away together, so it's going to be like hell. Let's be honest.
It's a different trip to us.
It's totally different. But so this is the unsmoothest segue I've ever done. So people who aren't going away, Victoria, sorry to hear about the lockdown.
Yeah.
That really sucks.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be in Melbourne yesterday, and that trip got cancelled the day before out of let's just be safe.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, it's a good idea, but it'll probably be fine. And then wake up in the morning, over 25 cases. Entire state's going into lockdown. So our thoughts are with you guys. Hopefully it's just this snap one will get you through the week, or this snap one will pass through and do the thing it's intended to, and we're not facing anything further.
Yeah.
Your
You got family?
My family, they're fine. They're at home, but they have had to cancel for the third time a booked trip that was given to them as a gift to go to Central Australia
that's
and to Northern Territory, I should say, and go and see Uluru. They've been dying to do it, and it's the third time. And they were flying out this morning, and so like they were sitting there, bags packed, and last night couldn't have come like right down to the 11th hour, and then everything back there. But and the worst part is they've got 2 lovely young kids who are right at that age now where one screams a lot and the other one screams back, and so this was more a holiday for them to leave them with grandparents and just get 3 days.
Oh, the kids weren't going?
No.
No!
Yeah. And so there's another level of disappointment in their voice when I spoke to them. Just
R.I.P. all the weddings as well. I think
Yep.
about how much it takes to plan that stuff, and people who would have put it off and had them cancelled over and over, and then been like, now it seems like a safe time to be able to do it.
Accident in chat, 2 years in a row, my birthday will be in lockdown.
Oh,
That's
no.
awful.
That is rubbish.
Sorry.
So hopefully we can be with you during this lockdown time, starting now, all the way until when it ends next week, and it's definitely over and everything's back to normal.
It feels like there's nothing left in saying, hey, you've still got video games, because people are like, that was 2020. It's fine. I still enjoy these things, but they're becoming a chore.
Yeah.
I mean, they are still there.
I do feel like we have some small measure of happiness that maybe other people don't have as gamers with platforms like Discord that we have our own kind of online communities in.
We're still so comfortable being social online. We have the advantage. In that aspect.
I remember when I think over New Year's Eve, the party that we were going to, we could no longer go to because it was maximum of 10 people or something like that. And
Didn't make the cut.
Well, we
I know that's not it, but it feels like-
offered given we had the furthest to go.
Yeah. Nice.
So
My parents did that. They had to go, we're going to call these.
Yeah.
I was just God damn that.
we ended up playing Destiny with Bishop and a bunch of other people.
Yeah, it was good.
It was nice.
good.
We did some Grandmaster Nightfalls.
Do you guys do anything
Other than play Destiny?
Yeah.
Definitely when it's got its hooks in, it's not good.
I've always seen people WoW couples and been like, I would never want to be in a situation where you and your partner are playing the same MMO. And
But a
it's just
Destiny couple. All right.
And yet here you are.
Yes, we don't play together that much.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need that separation.
We meet up at the dinner table to see what we've been up to.
Someone who we are very separate from, of course, little Will over there on the ones and twos. Hello, Will.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good.
No bit?
No bit. I had a bit planned, but the cut happened too early, so we'll work on the bit.
Save
Work
it.
on the bit. Work on the
Save
bit.
it.
Work on the bit.
Save it.
Exciting.
Looking more
Yeah.
like Mark Hamill than ever, I would say,
Thank you.
tonight.
There's that.
Every week you are growing more
so
into
good.
yourself because you're a young man blossoming. I mean it.
Thank you.
There's not a wink of sarcasm.
I would
I
have.
want to fuck that boy.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god.
No, what? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Will's super attractive, but technically he's an employee, and I can say whatever I want to him.
That's not how employees work.
That's how it works, right, Will?
We still don't have an HR department.
we never.
Please.
So this is fine?
Yeah, I never signed a
to,
contract against that, so.
True.
yeah.
There you go. Cool.
good.
HR.
It's an established relationship.
When you do the bit, let us know that that was the bit you referenced earlier.
Yeah, I will. I'll
Unless it flops massively, and they're the bit's yet to come.
It's
You
still
go home and
coming.
You work on that bit. That's an
That's
advice
Gus in a
from someone
nutshell.
Who's failed many a bit.
Yeah, at that point you go, I just came up with that one on the fly. That's
Yeah.
why that didn't work. That didn't take 6 weeks of planning. Okay, we should jump into the show, everybody. Not with the segment that normally we start with. Normally we would start with what you've been playing, but we want to start with something else this week. If you didn't catch last week's episode, we ended it with a talkback section where we answered a question on difficulty in video games. We addressed the topic kind of at face value, so we kept the discussion within the scope of whether or not games should have multiple levels of difficulty within them, and whether or not developer intent should be something that's considered when making the decision about whether or not to include difficulty levels within video games. We argued that the conversation around accessibility was a separate one, and because we didn't feel like we were qualified to have that discussion and we were not up to date in terms of our research and we're all able-bodied gamers, we felt like we didn't want to wade into that discussion without a representative, and so we didn't. But we realized that that was actually a mistake on our part on the show live last week, that we showed some ignorance around that issue that we wish that we didn't, and that ignorance caused some frustration, anger, and hurt with members of our community. And we certainly heard you guys when you said that during the segment and then afterwards in the really great discussion happening on the Discord, where there was just tons of back and forth between people debating this issue, bringing up interesting things to read and listen to.
Sharing links of other people out there in the industry who are amazing influence, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we spent the last week reading that stuff, listening to that stuff, watching that stuff, having quite a few conversations amongst the 5 of us as well about that episode. And we came to the conclusion that we have built a platform that's designed to entertain and also to inform people about video games. But sometimes, Steph, we are the ones that need to be informed as well. So that's why we're changing up the show a little bit.
That's right. We've got some guests on the show that we're going to start with. So that's really exciting. I'd like to introduce Cameron Hopkinson. On the show, they are a game accessibility consultant, composer, programmer, co-founder of Accessibility Unlocked, an Australian and New Zealand initiative to support game developers with accessibility needs, and also Ashley Ringrose, who is the studio head of SMG Studio. So welcome, guys. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Howdy.
Thank you.
How's it going?
Solid rap sheet, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Totally. I know.
Yeah.
The list goes on.
We all feel quite pathetic. The one thing that we do.
Yeah, it's awesome to have you guys. So thanks so much for joining us. Maybe you could just start by telling us a little bit about yourselves and what it is that you do in video games. Maybe Cameron, we'll start with you.
Cool. So I'm a composer and a programmer, but I'm also an accessibility consultant, and I'm currently doing that for a game called Wayward Strand, which is a game adaptation of interactive theatre that is being developed in Australia, and it's been pretty fun to work on.
Cool.
What else? Or is that good?
That's awesome. I mean, I don't know that I've played interactive theatre.
I haven't. I haven't played interactive theatre before. Is it? Do you actually get to like help guide the story, or it's more like a visual novel style thing?
It's kind of visual novel-ish. Interactive theatre is it's not a game thing. It's a style of theatre that involves audience participation and audiences walking around a space.
Oh, yes. No, okay, yeah.
Oh,
So a little bit of
yeah.
Bertolt Brecht.
Oh, yeah.
Bit of breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah. We did one. Remember that was based around Telltale Heart.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
No, who was the
Edgar Allan Poe.
Edgar Allan Poe. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Oh, that's really incredible. And Ashley,
What's that one called again? I think that's one of the main inspirations of this game, like structurally.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, great.
I know the one you're talking about, but I'm just blanking on the name.
I think the version I'd heard is some people in a New York apartment that walked around and had cocktails all night and things went wrong. And I'm like, that just sounded like a bad party. But they said it was interactive theatre, so I think it was just a cover by the end of it. But very interesting aspect to take and put into games as well.
And Ashley, studio head of SMG Studio, amazing things coming out of your studio. I really, really enjoyed moving out. Can you tell me a little bit about what you're working on and what you guys do there?
Yes, I'm the studio head. Previously to that, ran digital agency, and so we just finished moving out. We've got Spin on Apple Arcade, No Way Home on Apple Arcade, and we also do Risk with Hasbro. So that's kind of the staple of games we have running now. We're working on a couple of things that are quite secretive now, but I think
you can tell us.
Yeah, that's
Like a back shelf, a la everyone dropping secrets and like there's something on the shelf behind you. Isn't there?
Oh yeah.
Are you doing a Phil Spencer right now?
I wish I could. I'll give you the project names. I've got Project Russia and then Project Journey, and so both of those, we're quite proud of those code names because when you work it out, you're like, oh yeah, that's really one of those like smart ass code names. But we're working on two projects now.
Unlike Project Natal. What was that about with the Connect?
Well,
Christmas,
we're happy to have you here because we wanted to sort of talk a little bit about the importance of accessibility, which has become quite a necessary conversation in video games, the full scope of which is still not fully understood, I think, by the broader gaming community, ourselves included. So what does accessibility look like beyond the more obvious things, I suppose, like adaptive controllers and things like that? Maybe Cameron, we'll start with you.
Cool. So designing in an accessible way is trying to ensure that as many people as possible can play a game. So things such as disability and stuff like that don't get in the way. This can include feature additional features such as subtitles that will allow deaf players to know what is actually going on in the story. But this can also include designing features in such a way that they're more accessible. So, for instance, Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, the original version had puzzles that involved coloured tiles on the floor, which were pretty unplayable for colourblind players. So on the remake on the Switch, they added symbols to the tiles so that you could differentiate them even if you couldn't based on their colour.
Yeah, cool.
Amazing.
Well, at what point, like Ashley, what point in the process does that start to happen? Obviously, it can happen which we saw with Breath of the Wild. Obviously, that can happen, or was it Wind Waker? Sorry, with re-release. But where in the process does that come into play for you guys at SMG?
I think for moving out, it came probably like halfway through when we realized, we had some decisions to make, and subtitles, color blindness are probably the most top level, easiest ones to kind of address, because we're all aware of those. And yeah, having puzzles or elements that are purely color based, and then you go, well, you have to like make sure you don't paint yourself into a corner with that and go, all right, this needs to be symbol based as well. So you want to do it as early as possible, just to avoid, kind of designing yourself into a corner. We added for moving out, we added the like adaptive difficulty as well. So outside of subtitles and, making the user interface larger and smaller, we also had the ability, because we had kids playing and they were having trouble. And so accessibility for us was not just people with who don't have the full range of abilities, but also just the full range of players as well. And, we try to be more adaptive in terms of like, let people choose how they wanted to adjust it. So you might just want more time, or you want it to be, less stressful. So we add, we take away some of the dangers or slow them down. We let you just skip a level if you get stuck, because, as much as you want to make something as easy or as accessible as you can, someone might just not get it. So we allow them to skip it. And so, it might seem like really obvious things, but we took a lot of inspiration from Celeste from that, which had an adaptive difficulty and, kind of a message up the front like, hey, we want more people to be able to play through this game. And, I think that's the best part of these accessibility things, is everyone's stealing off each other, standing on the shoulders to do a better job. It's not, people trying to show how smart they are by like, look at the things we did. It's like, oh, I took it from here. I think, The Last of Us 2, when you're Naughty Dog, you can raise the bar as high as you can. They went to town. And I think it's good that have that bar raised and go like, well, that's the benchmark. And what can we take from those ideas to put into our games?
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say to Cameron, like, do you find those examples make it a little easier for someone like yourself who's, consulting with some of these things that can be taken into games as factors that can help and improve the development process? Does having more examples or better examples like that make it easier to explain what kind of features developers should be looking to employ?
Yeah, absolutely. There are a lot of good resources out there, such as game accessibility guidelines and other such things that can be really helpful. But just having a really wide knowledge of accessibility in games in general can be really helpful with making games more accessible. This is because sometimes accessibility features don't necessarily come from an accessibility-based place in the first. And that sometimes you can look at features that other games have done, not necessarily for accessibility purposes, and repurposing them to make your games more accessible, if that makes sense.
No, totally. Yeah. The unintentional sort of like push forward in the industry that people go like, we didn't realize we were helping in that process, but like it all adds up at the end of the day kind of thing.
And can you talk to us, Cameron, a little bit about Accessibility Unlocked and how you became involved with the organisation and what sort of things you're doing to help educate, I guess, developers on accessibility?
Cool. Accessibility Unlocked was initially primarily based on accessibility for developers, so workplace accessibility and that kind of thing. I am disabled, I have autism, and I found that a lot of game development spaces were just not really accommodating for that. And I figured that I can't be the only person having that kind of trouble. So I was introduced to a few people and we decided to form this group. As far as game accessibility goes, we help with that by sharing resources that we find and giving talks on making games and workspaces and stuff like that more accessible.
Ash, I wanted to ask you as well, because we arrived at this conversation when we sort of chose to discuss difficulty settings in games as something that we had previously thought were somewhat separate from accessibility, but they often go hand in hand with one another. So I guess, how do you approach difficulty as a developer in sort of trying to deal with, I suppose, creating challenge within your game and also making it something that is accessible to everyone?
Yeah, I think Cameron mentioned the accessibility guidelines on the website. That has a really great, really detailed list of what you can do to make your game more accessible. And by reading that, we saw it's not just some of it's just cognitive ability. So it's like, have you got puzzles, or do you have things that are someone can be quite good at action but not good at cognitive puzzles. And so difficulty is kind of like, it's not just a linear, is it hard or easy? It's across all different things. It could be reaction times. It could be, cognitive puzzles. You've got ones like, color-based type things. So for us, it was, for moving out and even moving forward, it's like, how do we break down difficulty into the various different things that people could get stuck on? Whether it's time, they just, want to take their time through it. Cognitive ability, we can remove puzzles, or just letting people skip directly. You've also got just controller complexity as well. Do they have to hold this button and do that button and press that at the same time? So can you make those things easier? So all those things add up to difficulty. So for us, it's all about letting people choose what they want to change to make it easier, than just saying easy, medium, hard. Because a lot of the times in, say, an action game, that would just be you do more damage and enemies are easier to kill. So we want to let people choose the fidelity, which, I think Celeste did really well. So you can have unlimited lives, or, those sort of things. So I think that for me is just, when you're planning the game, it's like, how can you break down this game in terms of what would be the friction points? And, someone can toggle that off. So look, we won't have, such a short timer. Or, if we've got a puzzle, let people skip the puzzle. There'd be people that would really enjoy, Uncharted games, but don't want to solve the puzzles, even though those puzzles are quite easy. But, just let them choose their flavor of how they want to play through it. So that's how we kind of approaching difficulty, is what are the different facets that make up that? And as we're designing levels for moving out, it's always like, okay, if we do this bit, we can always make that easier for players. Instead of having two things that emit fire that kill you, we'll just have one, or have none, and just let that toggle off. And that's the kind of, less danger element. So yeah, a lot of it's just breaking it into the various elements so people can kind of customize their enjoyment. Than just saying easy, medium, hard, because what's easy for me might be hard for someone else, and vice versa. So
yeah, one of the things that I made a connection to when I was watching a bunch of content over the last week about accessibility options, and one thing that I never made the connection to was, I've played Forza, I've played sim racing games and stuff, and the detail in how you can break apart how hard a sim is something that I just kind of took for granted. But the fact that we're seeing those kinds of options, systems, kind of breaking apart a game into its base systems, like Celeste did, is really cool. And once I saw that connection, I was like, oh yeah, this is totally something that is that could be implemented in a bunch of different games in a bunch of different scenarios. And it's so synonymous with Sims, because Sims are inherently too realistic to be fun. If you put it that way, but there's so many games that can benefit from those little the tuning system of a sim.
And that's a great example. I remember I remember going to the arcade in Daytona, and it's always like, do you want manual or auto? And I was always like, just the auto. I just want to
To be fair, I always picked auto, but pretended I was driving manual. So that was one of those features. No, but as Pete said, those complicated games like Sims, I'm sure, Ash, you obviously being a developer know this, and Cameron as well, knowing that, seeing the process. every game is still built out of a really complex system of things happening at one time. So there's a lot to still break down. It's not just like, oh, your game is cute and colorful, therefore it can't have different aspects of it taken apart and rebuilt in different ways. So obviously, and you guys are a testament to that. So it's obviously like, it's lovely to have such a great example of that isn't Flight Sim or Truck Simulator or something like that.
Yeah.
And Cameron, do you see
the sim example? Oh, sorry, I was just saying, the sim example is really good, and a lot of it's just planned to bring to the user interface all those elements that they can customize. Sorry. Dave.
No, that's okay. I was just going to say how difficult is it to kind of implement these things from like a budgetary point of view? And Cameron, do you see people do you see resistance to kind of making these changes, or are people pretty open to sort of diving into the process of trying to pick apart the game in a way that allows them to implement a lot more detail in terms of accessibility?
Yeah, there can be some resistance. Part of that is, if you look at games like The Last of Us and stuff like that, you can tell that a lot of money was put into the accessibility features of that game. And there are plenty of indie devs out there that look at that and just go, we cannot afford to do that. But a lot of accessibility features can be implemented quite quickly. For instance, there's a game out there called Year of the Clockwork God. One of the developers of that game implemented a bunch of accessibility features surrounding the dialogue system of that game, and it took him about a day.
Do you think that... Yeah, and do you think that... Because I think one of the games that we spoke about last week, and I think it's one of the games that comes up all the time when you talk about difficulty in video games, is Dark Souls or Souls-like games. And I think I made the argument that the point of that game is to be difficult. It's not like... There's a bit of a badge of honor playing that and like having persevered through that. It's not necessarily that you're good at games, but it's like you just were sort of like stupid enough to bash your head against the wall for 50 hours and actually finish it. But do you think that a big step forward could be a game like that implementing some sort of like slider system when it comes to like being able to lower difficulty, where it is like the icon that people stand behind to go like games should be hard, and then a game like that comes out and it will force people to rethink that kind of behavior? Because certainly my argument was like the intention of that game is to be hard, but I hadn't factored in the fact that like what's hard for me, the challenge that I enjoyed getting out of that might be too difficult for someone else, but if you lower difficulty settings, it's not making it easier for that person. It's just bringing that same challenge to their level. So yeah, do you wish that you would see something like that with that kind of title?
Yes. Miyazaki, the creator of Dark Souls, said that the design intent of that game was to persevere through challenge and come out the other side. If people can't come out the other side, then that's not really matching that design.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
If people just give up.
Yeah. And I know Dark Souls 2 almost had an easy mode. I think it was budget that kept that from happening. I do think it is important to say, though, that easy mode is frequently brought up when accessibility is raised, but that's not necessarily what accessibility is. There are plenty of accessibility features that don't really affect difficulty. So, for instance, the colorblind stuff that I was talking about with Zelda earlier, that change, adding symbols to the tiles so colorblind people can solve that puzzle, that would not impact the difficulty of players that are not colorblind at all.
Yeah, totally.
So,
and even things like, it's not about necessarily how hard the game is, but giving like options like changing the speed that the game runs at. Things like that. I don't know how hard Ash would know how hard that is to implement, but from an engine perspective. But things like that aren't if you're thinking about the purity of a Dark Souls experience, they don't impact that. They just make it accessible. They just make it possible.
That enemy's still going to swing the weapons as many times as it has to attack you. It just
and you're just tuning it to your own ability.
Totally, and as Nick said, it's bringing it by no means bringing the difficulty down. It's just making it the same level of challenging that you and I might feel, but for someone else, that is that same level. And I think it's more of an evening out rather than a bringing down, which is where the discussion can sometimes sound like it's not heading in the right direction. So, and as you said, it's really interesting to see not just sort of your straight difficulty sliders, but I'm sure, Cameron, as you said, interesting examples of games, sometimes unintentionally coming up with things that are benefiting larger player bases that then can be implemented. And Ash, as you said, how early on in the process you can say, look, we need to keep these things in mind because they're not that hard to put in if they, they're not as hard from day dot versus, well, we've made our game, we can't change it now, which I'm sure, Cameron, you run into it all the time. So, yeah.
And do you think that's like a mindset thing as well? It's like once it becomes like systemic that accessibility is an important part of the development process from day dot, it's not something that's being asked to be added later. It's something that is built into the whole process to make it, you know, like I could imagine some resistance is like, oh, we were done and now we're not done. But the idea of like thinking about all of these things as the development is happening obviously just makes it a much more streamlined process at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's where the remasters have that ability to change things because, you know, all the hard work's done. Well, a lot of the hard work's done, and then you can go back and add things later. But I can imagine for Dark Souls, you know, it's already a successful franchise, so they're like, well, why risk? You know, if we make it easy mode or we change it anyway, are we going to risk the success? Who knows? They may sell a lot more. So I think it's tough when you already have success. It's like, well, I don't want to change the formulas, you know, so I don't want to do that. So yeah, it's a tough one for them, I think. And then if you do at the end go like, well, let's just add some sliders to make things easier or slower or change some things, you then have to kind of QA the whole game again with all those kind of set to the extreme. So the more fidelity you give, the more the more bugs that could come out of it. So I mean, that's an excuse for them, but I think they like wearing that badge of honor that makes it, you know, the game's very hard. But I feel they could, you know, easily just change a few things to, you know, open up the audience. Do it 1 year later. Say like, you know, we want the purest form. You can come back a year later. Or yeah, I think as long as you leave people, you know, let them have like, this is the artist's intent, and then hey, open up the other options. I really don't see the harm in that. We had that with moving out. It's like if you open up the assist options, do we still give people all the achievements? And it's like, well, why not? Like we're not trying to say this game's doing the assist mode is like cheating or anything like that. So let them have it. So I think it is a mindset thing. The biggest change would be from the platforms enforcing it. I don't think you can get away. You know, they enforce load times. If your game doesn't load or doesn't reach a certain frame rate, they're not going to pass cert. I think it's going to get to the point where it's like, if you don't have subtitle options or you don't have remappable controls or you don't have certain things, like if the platform said like we have a 2-year window where your games need to have these certain accessibility options, that would really force a lot of change where the game will not get onto these platforms unless they reach these certain benchmarks.
Yeah, right. In my mind, my mind went to publishers and like publishers not releasing funds or releasing more funds to make sure there's accessibility options. But yeah, you're right. Like the platform holders at the end of the day are running those certs, and they have all the power in the world to make it happen. It'd be nice to see those things at that end.
You only need, and it's just 4, Nintendo, Sony, Xbox, and Steam. It's only 4 people need to enforce that change. Yeah. So it would make a huge difference, I think. And they could also say like, oh, if you you could say you can pass without it, or we'll give you an extra 3-4% royalty.
Yeah, right.
If you do this, so like they can incentivize it that way without, and I think some studios would be like, well, I'll take an extra 3%, revenue just by adding these features. So you can kind of, I think you either have to penalize people or you have to incentivize them. Otherwise, just hoping that they do it, please, it'll be great. I don't think we'll drive enough change quickly enough.
People are too terrible for that.
What would an extra 3%? What would an extra 3% do for Project Journey?
No, was it Project Russia?
Oh yeah, right. I mean that's that's like it's 10% less. So was it 10%? It makes a difference. You would definitely jump through those hoops.
Totally.
And if you were if you jump through like 8 of the 10 hoops, you'd do that extra 2.
So it's a hoop jumping game.
Mile. Yeah, exactly. There probably will be hits involved. But
Well, we can't thank you enough for
Yeah.
coming on the show and talking to us tonight. Honestly, it's been awesome to have you here and being part of the discussion. So thank you so much, both of you.
Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys.
Thank
We
you.
really appreciate it. So that was Ashley and Cameron.
Yep.
I'm so glad that we managed to get them on the show. They were so willing to come on and
Cameron's obviously in New Zealand, so like an hour later.
yes,
Oh, yeah.
2 hours.
It's
Yes.
it is
2
well
hours.
and truly bedtime.
It is. Thank you so much.
Let's know where to live. Yeah, I'm not happy that last week happened, but I'm happy with the outcome that
Yeah.
the last week, I guess, that we've gone through.
Sometimes that's the only way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes
totally.
that's how things just go in life.
Well, like Ash was saying, you either incentivize or penalize, and it's like that's where you learn from, right? Like, and you make a mistake, and then you go like, okay, now, because I think it's so true of what they were saying, and Pete, what you mentioned about the idea of it being like a mindset thing, about how I had kind of just gone, difficulty to me is it's fine for games to be easy, but it's always like easy compared to my skill level or like our skill level. And even things like the slowing a game down, but keeping everything else the same as being something that never would enter my mind as
Yeah.
being like something that anyone would ever need. And now I've done so much reading where it's
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
going like, oh my God, I would play video games if they
And as you
like-
said, that challenge for them is still there. It is still hitting the ceiling.
It's
of
the same
like,
challenge,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So, I feel like that was. I'm really glad that we got that discussion.
I think for me, it's like I was happy to dismiss a very small percentage of games being hard for the sake of being hard as something that wasn't for me. But there are plenty of other people who are like, but I want this to be for me.
Yeah. We have the choice whether it's for us or not, whereas they don't even get some people don't even have the chance to say that wasn't for me.
Yeah.
yeah.
Which
just
would be
don't-
even better now if they're like, we've got that. And it's like, I'm not still playing a Dark Souls game. It's a stupid game. Like, some people might just not want to play that.
Yeah, totally. And also, a really big thank you to you guys as well for all of the discussion in chat last week. But particularly on the Discord over the last week, there's just been some really amazing back and forth there, sharing of information, sharing of viewpoints. It's been so respectful and civil the whole time, which I think meant that it was so informative as well. Like being able to take that stuff on board, but in a way where it was not people attacking each other. It was people explaining their position and really wanting the other side to understand and not wanting to be right. I think that's what it was. Wanting to share that knowledge and not be like, no, you're wrong, and you have to admit that you're wrong. Because there were people on all sides of the coin. There's only two sides of a coin, so all sides of the thing with a lot of sides. At the end of it, I think only positive things have come from that discussion.
And like I said at the start, the ability to have those discussions and then share research, share media on the internet, share articles, share a couple of really amazing streamers who do gaming with disabilities and that sort of stuff as well. It gives you the context to be able to go out there and appreciate those viewpoints as well, rather than just have that, like, I don't know, back and forth discussion with someone that can feel like an argument. So again, massive appreciation to everyone who was super generous with all of that as well.
Yeah. And I'm only sorry that I started that whole discussion yelling that I wanted to sex up little Will.
I'm not sorry.
The book was the bit the whole time.
Book was the bit.
There you go. He just
That
had to
wasn't
wait.
the whole bit. That's fine. We'll come back to the bit later.
There's more
Okay.
I'm so excited. All right. If you want to stick around and see the rest of the bit, then you will join us on the other side of this ad break.
A coin.
come in all handsome and smelling like a mix of earthy clays and Moroccan spices.
I'm really proud of you guys.
I don't know if it's his aura, or he knows a guy, or he's like a walking broken mirror.
Fuck.
But he will cancel your show.
It's the penis.
Will,
Can we just cut the feed and start again?
Did you find...
yeah, I mean, we can go offline, I guess, but...
No, it's happening again. Hi.
What the fuck are you gonna do?
If you have a show, don't call Raj. Unless you hate that show, then Raj is the man for you. Raj, he'll fuck your shit up.
Do you find yourself getting embarrassed in cold weather? Do you have difficulty finding shirts that fit?
Are you leaking milk out of 1/3 of your nipples?
If so, you might have a third nipple and could be in line for a huge compensation payout from Gall.
Hi, we're the team from Acrash, and Buzzard, and we don't stop until we get you a big payout from the big guy.
But don't take our word for it. We lie for a living. Here's the word of one of our very satisfied customers.
Yeah, when I found out I had a third nipple, I was like, cool. But then the team from Acrash, and Buzzard told me I could get an almighty payout from the Almighty.
That'll work, won't it? He'll buy that.
Acrash, and Buzzard. The only lawyers you should put your faith in to sue God. Because we didn't make you like this, he did it. Or she. Nah, it's a bloke.
Alrighty then.
Alrighty then.
Alrighty then.
Alrighty then.
Alrighty then.
Alrighty then.
Alrighty then, let's get on with the rest of the show. Did you know Will has never seen that movie?
Will has never seen a Jim Carrey movie.
No, he's seen Truman Show, and I bet he's seen Man on the Moon.
Oh,
I bet you've seen
Eternal
Man on the
Sunshine?
No. Keep listening to him.
You've never seen Eternal Sunshine?
That's amazing.
That's a great movie.
Sonic.
Yeah.
I think the most said phrase at this office is,
Will,
you've never seen blank?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
By far.
Young people.
Young people.
Where do they get off?
Bruce Almighty?
Yep.
Yep. Bruce Almighty's good. The Grinch?
The Grinch.
Oh
I
my
was
goodness.
terrified of The Grinch. My cousin
Yeah.
used to love it. My cousin, who's like 6 years younger than me, used to watch it over and over, and I'd like watch it from behind a wall as
right.
a 6-year-old.
Some weird.
So your cousin who was 0 loved The Grinch, but you as a
I was
6-year-old
terrified.
Bruce Almighty is like Jim Carrey playing himself, the most himself. Because it's like, hey, be wacky, but then he's got responsibility. I don't know. It's
Great movie.
just him walking through a film.
Remember that's
Doing a
when we
great
all
job.
discovered Steve Carell?
That's
Yeah.
right.
In that scene where he takes over his... Yeah.
And my tiny nipples went to France.
Yeah, and just going like, this guy's going to be a star. And then the next movie was Evan Almighty. Amazing. Okay, it is time to move on with the rest of the show. We are going to talk about what we've been playing. Before we do, though, just wanted to point out, did you see the PlayStation thing that's happening in the next 12 hours?
No?
Horizon Forbidden West?
Oh, yes, no, yes, I did. So, yeah, somebody told me, and I feel like that means it's coming out this year.
I think it means it's coming out this year. I don't think they would show it if it wasn't.
I think 12 Minutes will come out this year also.
100%.
Yeah, don't rub it in.
But there is still one that is definitely not coming out this year, so...
I'm really excited for this Horizon thing because I had totally written it off as a next year thing, and I think that we're seeing a bunch of gameplay. I think the fact that they're showing it now, you just would not show, not with all the PS5
I just
stuff
need
going
everyone
on.
to have one game that doesn't come out. Do you have one on yours?
Yeah, potentially, because the Hollow Knight devs came out and said, we are not showing Hollow Knight Silk Song at E3. I'm like, fuck, that's halfway through the year.
Ooh, excellent. Peter?
Yeah, like Halo could get delayed again. Lego doesn't have a release date at the moment. So there's two that are and left Back for Blood could be an interesting one as well. And there's nothing coming up.
I think I might win this, you guys. I think I might win it.
Yeah,
I think I could.
No, because if yours doesn't come out, I still just have one. I'm on par with you.
Really?
I'm coming for you. I got Ratchet and Clank coming up. Ratchet and Clank, 10 out of 10, 100 out of 100.
That's going to be 10 out of 10.
RNC.
Yeah.
RNC. RA. Let's talk about your games. Gus is going to win the 2023
The Forest
draft with the 2021 draft.
Yeah.
We should have included Will. That was a real dick move.
As I was designing it live, I had a plate that said Lego Star Wars on it with my face, and as Pete said it, I just went.
You should step in now.
Yeah, you could take the remnants.
I mean, he'll still beat me.
Yeah, do you want to pick another 5, Gus, and I'll just take yours?
No.
I love that is so. You are.
It was close.
You are peak fantasy sports person, which is this player is trash. I hate this player.
But they're
gonna fuck with it.
Can I have your
I'll trade for you. No, this could be his year. I'm looking at you, OBJ. All right, it's time to move on now. No, that was Will.
You weren't looking at Will. You weren't looking at Will?
I guarantee you.
OBJ?
I love Will. That is not Odell Beckham Jr.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on now with the segment we like to call. Oh. I'm just saying what y'all be playing. Brought to you by Brett Jones, a.k.a. LokiCat. LokiCat. Wait, do I play fantasy sports with LokiCat?
You play chess.
No, I don't play chess with LokiCat.
You play Words with Friends.
No. Oh, I miss Words with Friends.
Yeah, I feel like I dip back into it and then I get smashed by it and I'm like, stupid game.
This game Scrabble sucks.
Someone does QI and then it's all over again.
Yeah, right.
QI.
Chi or whatever it comes off as on a triple word score. Get the fuck out.
Why?
Hacks.
Could be you.
Hacks, I
Yeah,
say.
and then the person leaves.
Right, okay. So you can't win either way. Where is LokiCat? That's a very good question. LokiCat, though, if you are here, I would like to know what game you think is going to be the most higher rated game of the year. And
Lurking.
Lurking?
Ooh, little LokiCat.
Lurking.
Oh, LokiCat is a heaps better name for LokiCat.
LokiCat. It's not as good as Lake-Hay, though.
It's better, though, because I think LokiCat might actually be something that LokiCat's into.
Oh, interesting.
You know, like
Interesting.
respecting people.
Oh, okay.
LokiCat for sure. Yeah.
Far less interesting.
I say that because should I point out what got sent to us today?
Oh yeah. Let me get it.
Because so this is a funny story. So I promise we'll get to the actual show in a second. We got sent packages in the mail. One of the packages that got sent. Is the box around here?
Yeah.
Cool. One of the packages that got sent was addressed directly to me. And this normally doesn't happen. I normally don't get things addressed to me normally, or any of us really. It gets addressed to Back Pocket most of the time. But if you do want something to go to someone specifically, you can address it to them. Anyway. I'm like, what is this? Pete and I sit down. We do a un-PO boxing. We start opening up the things. Pete opens up his thing. It's a very cool thing. And I'm like, cool, what's this? I rip it open. I see the top of the box. It's that. That says Fetish Fantasy Series. And then it's this.
Which is
and
it's a safe picture.
It's a safe picture. And it is bondage rope. And so someone sent me bondage rope, and then they also sent leather nipple pasties.
You might see one to the right of Nick.
Well, there it is.
On there.
From your
Right
perspective?
there.
Yeah.
And lube. And a blindfold. And then Pete and I were talking about it, and we were like, and because I was like, I just feel very seen right now, and this I really appreciate that our audience knows me. And then Pete goes, I bet it was just. I was like, I wonder who this is from. And then Pete goes, what did you say? It was.
I said it was probably just Kit Carnage getting rid of some surplus that she had lying around.
Exactly. And I had a laugh, and I was like, oh yes, that's so Kit. And then I sat there for a second, and no, that's right. And then you, I think we should put these pasties on Bob, and I went, oh my God. Yesterday when I was streaming, Kit Carnage said, I sent you something for Bob. And I read that message and I was like, who the fuck is Bob? And then I realized it all came together. So they're now on there with the Barjo face.
I see the Barjo face covering.
The bondage rope is mine.
We've made it subtle.
Everything worked out. So there you go. That's a good story. Okay. Quiet.
Should I play the SEG title again?
Play it. What are we doing?
We're doing
they're all tied up. I'm just like,
I like to imagine you wanting to like bring that into your like sexual adventures and just ending up like a cartoon character.
100%.
It's like, I think I did it wrong.
Yeah.
come in here.
Oh, God. Amazing. Okay, let's talk about the games that we've been playing. And let's start off with Steph, with something that you and I have been playing this week.
Yeah. I had a quick few bouts of Knockout City, which is effectively Dodgeball the game. It's, which I have to say,
Dodgeball being a game.
Yeah, no, that's why I was laughing.
Well, Dodgeball the video game, yeah. And I have to say that I should say that I didn't actually know. I know that dodgeball existed as a sport.
Okay.
But the extent of my knowledge of it was, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a dodgeball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I started playing this, and I was like, "Oh, this is a game where you throw balls at people." And then people started catching the balls, and I was like, "Hey guys, you can catch them!" And they're like, "That's dodgeball."
Wow.
I'll tell you, did you call it because a lot of Australians called it poison ball, and we played like a similar-ish version that was like just getting pegged by a softball.
That was a Melbourne thing.
I played netball.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like it's the end of gym kind of like everyone plays
Yeah.
game. It's not like a sport.
Yeah.
But it is a sport.
No, in America, I think maybe they might do like
They made a documentary about it,
Yeah, right.
starring Ben Stiller.
For me, it was kind of like ultimate frisbee. Yeah, some rope. For me, it was always kind of like what do they call it? Like ultimate frisbee. Like it's a sort of slightly more.
Yeah. But this is cool. It's 3v3. It's kind of set on the rooftops of this kind of like city environment. As you can see here, there are different types of balls that you can pick up. Some that explode and some that do the different things. You can, if there are no balls around for you to pick up to hurl at your opposing team, you can roll yourself into a ball and have your teammate throw you, or you can throw your teammate.
Which is so good.
So if you're like really like, grouping up well, you can just be like, hey, throw me. Right here, man.
You're gonna have to toss me.
And it was like surprisingly fun. There's like the way they've designed the maps is just really like fun and creative. There's pipes that kind of zip you through different areas. There's bounce pads and stuff. So there's like a lot of kind of room for chaos and great multiplayer moments.
It is so much fun. It is so much fun. I love this game. I think it has perfectly struck the balance of being something that is very dumb, very easy to understand, but actually quite deep mechanically. Now, I'm not into the deep mechanically. I'm still on the easy to understand and quite fun. But like going in there, the aiming is fantastic. The aiming is like has this soft lock on, a game that Pete and I will talk about later that has terrible soft lock on. Could learn from this. It is easy to hit someone with it. The catching is such a fun mechanic of seeing someone like, because you hold down right trigger to like charge your throw.
From my understanding, the longer you charge it, it looked like the more it might hone in on someone.
Yes.
Yeah, and you can see down the bottom on the left, you've got those two sort of health hearts that you have until you're kind of knocked out completely.
And then the idea of like someone charging it, and then you get in these great face-offs, which does not happen in multiplayer. Like most multiplayer games, you're both attacking each other in a face-off, and it's like who can just get the most hits. Whereas this is like an actual standoff of like someone is charging, and then you're standing there, and you're like, "Come on, charge away!"
It's also that you get like this red kind of thing, like a marker when someone's locked onto you as well. So it's like really like hectic. You're obviously trying to dash and move and stuff like that to get out of it. But like that whole face off is heightened by the fact that you know exactly when someone has you in their sights.
Even like having a little hang glider there, like there seems to be a really good fluid movement to it all.
There's like a lot of moves. It's like jump, double jump, do a roll, and
you can do like
double jump.
No
double jump is the glide.
You can glide. You can do like a spin
and a roll
and a dash.
And if you're holding the moon ball, when you jump, you get like way less gravity. So you get this big floating jump as you go. When you pick up the football, it's like a shotgun, and it even makes the cocking noise as you like draw it back. But it's just I think the idea as well of like running into a game with nothing. It's like the beginning of a battle royale where you drop and you're looking for a weapon, but you kind of just charge in there, and with this knowledge that you're still technically equipped with a weapon because you can catch a ball, and obviously you can throw your teammate. But that like it never felt like I was at a disadvantage where the other team had all the had all the weapons,
Resources
I suppose, the
and stuff,
resources.
yeah.
It's always like, no, you can have all of them. In some respects, that's good because I can surprise you with a catch and a throwback and that sort of, it's so much fun.
I think what's interesting about it too is that you are obviously most effective as a team when you're grouped together because then, otherwise if you're just in a one-on-one catching battle with someone, it's very boring. But if you overwhelm someone, then they can't catch every ball that you're throwing. But in order to kind of find more balls, you do have to split up and go in search of more ammunition to throw at people. So that does kind of end up splitting you up a little bit. So it's this balancing act of how you effectively work together as a team and stay kind of close so that you can really hone in on people as a group, but then also trying to keep enough at your disposal that you're able to kind of be throwing, the different types of balls and stuff.
It's funny. I thought I would absolutely fall in love with this. I only played about 2 or 3 rounds, and I maybe didn't give it the right amount of time.
Who are you playing with?
Just online random. So
that's
the
problem,
idea.
I think.
Yeah. But the thing I found, like you're saying, is I didn't like I found it too chaotic when everyone was all together swarming around. Just a little bit. I like the idea of getting a ball and hunting someone down and then having a one-on-one standoff kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, but I can see exactly what you mean.
When you've got the communication, you're like, I'm a ball, use me!
No, and you're totally right. In terms of playing with people with good communication, that chaos turns into fun, organised chaos. Whereas for me, it was like, I found those moments where all 3 of each side would just be running around the same area. I'm like, there's no way you can get your grasp on what's happening here. But I think, having the communication is probably the key.
Yeah, but I played with randoms and I hear what you're saying, but I didn't find it that much of a problem. I think that once I played more and everyone was getting their feet wet, I played it very early, so everyone was still learning it. I think when you start to figure out not the meta, but I guess the best way to utilize the mechanics you have, and that sort of. And
you're right. Maybe everyone at this stage is so learning the ropes that it's messier than it's meant to be by design. So,
yeah. And this is the demo too, so there's probably going to be more maps and modes and things like that. It's a testament to how much I was enjoying this game because I was playing it in the office the other day when Pete and Gus were shooting a commercial, and I was playing it just on my laptop with a mouse, and Peter was like, "You can't keep playing the game with the mouse; it's too loud on the desk." And I was like, oh, okay.
But also,
and then I just tried to do it more quietly, and Peter was like, you can't play the game. And I was like, with the trackpad. I was so gumpy.
As a demo, I was playing this on Game Pass. I assumed, is it not the same on PC?
No, so it's on EA Play.
Yeah.
So if you subscribe to EA Play, you get it. If you subscribe to Game Pass, it's on Game Pass via EA Play.
Yeah, right.
It's got a 10-day free trial now, but then it's a paid thing. And I think it's like $30.
$30, I think. Yeah, even.
But even on
Switch.
Game Pass.
No. On Game Pass, I believe it'll just stay on Game Pass because it's part of EA Play.
Yeah.
But $30 is way too expensive for this. This should I don't understand why this isn't free. It's got tons of customization, character stuff, heaps of cosmetics built in it. The cosmetics are good. It just feels like if it's going to find that real audience, then it needs that.
Be free.
I don't see why it wouldn't stay on Game Pass as part of EA Play. But the other thing I really like about it is that it's non-violent. It's a non-violent multiplayer game. And there are so few of those, and this has a very low barrier of entry. So it's kind of like your Rocket League, your Fall Guys, Splatoon, that sort of thing where this is too old for Banjo to play just from a mechanics perspective, but I would happily give this to my child and feel totally cool about the fact that they're having all the fun of what is actually fun about multiplayer shooters, which is just the hand-eye coordination. Take this thing and put it over there, and that person is eliminated. Also, without the violence.
Quick, play 5 rounds. Don't play a 40-minute game of Fortnite or a battle. That's what stretched
so
younger
true
gamers.
That there just needs to be more games that fill that space of because it's because people. I understand why parents don't want young kids playing shooters, obviously, and the violence and everything, but there is. The reason why people play shooters is not because they enjoy killing people. It's the idea of aiming a reticule at something and finding that target is really satisfying as a gamer. And there needs to be a version of that for kids that is fun and accessible without being a shooter. And this is totally one of those great games.
And I totally wrote this off. I remember the first time seeing it and going oh, this looks like all these kinds of games. Remember that one that launched...
Bubblegum baseball one?
Yeah, that.
Yeah, I played that at E3. It's you could blow bubblegum to float. You had a huge whacking, soft baseball.
Ninjala?
Ninjala
as well, which is, I mean,
Yeah.
it's huge on Switch at the moment.
Is it?
But yeah,
Okay.
it's enormous.
It's a mess of a game, it feels like. But yeah.
But all that sort of stuff where I was just like, oh, this so isn't for me. And I've kept dipping back into this. I'm totally loving it. So
Makes me want to play Roller Champs.
Roller champs. Yep. Roller
One day.
champs, exactly.
One day.
Peter,
Yeah.
we've also been playing something.
We have. We've been playing something very disappointing, and that is Biomutant. The trailer promises so much. It is gorgeous, and the reality of it is very disappointing. It is a super ambitious project. I think it's something like 20 people made this thing, and it's got so many ideas and like so many, like it's such a big
ideas?
game. Like it's just a huge game.
Yeah.
Like, the idea, the scale of it is massive.
Yeah.
Like it's bigger than The Witcher, and it's like made by 20 people. It's like you.
It's not deeper than The Witcher.
No, no.
Right. So it's like
yeah.
size over substance.
Well, it's just
It's just amazing that they managed to make it in the first place. I'll put that out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But nothing works in a particularly fun way.
Right.
There's a narrative being told that's kind of like got this cute fantasy thing to it. You get to play an adorable little creature. If you skip forward a little bit, I end up being Pikachu.
good.
Oh, cool.
I like the idea behind the character customizer, which is the first thing you do, so that I can talk about it, of like this slider that adjusts everything. It's really clever idea. But when I was doing it, I was like, I cannot get something that I like the look of.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
no,
yeah, yeah.
I can't, I want that
It's like if
and
you're
that,
speedier, you have
but I can't. Like,
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
to, yeah.
Yeah,
It's you're speedier, you've got longer legs, you have tougher.
Yeah,
you're
it's
grunt,
it's
you're
kind of like, matching that.
Got it.
But that's
And-
definitely...
Oh, right. So the physicality that you choose plays
The
into
stats you
the
apply.
stats.
Well, you
that
make your character...
Choose stats as well.
And then you go, okay, what kind of stats do you want again on a slider? And you go like strength or agility, and you're doing that slider thing, and then your character's body like morphs to that thing. Like
okay.
stronger, whatever, blah blah blah. So
It is set in our world after megacorps have poisoned the seas and destroyed the world, and the biomutants now run everything.
set in 2023.
Yeah,
That was a joke.
that was a good.
That was a hilarious joke.
It was a good. It was a good one.
Topical, save the planet joke.
These guys look like they got it under control.
Yeah, and you play like a. Hello. Gotcha. There's guns and there's like click clack onomatopoeia comic book stuff in it.
Yeah.
There's so many. So it's just a mess.
A lot of ideas.
Just a mess. There's like an intricate melee system.
Yeah.
And you build and you get combos. Like you unlock more and more combos. So it's like right mouse F is something I unlock later.
Giving
Which
me
is
like Monster Hunter vibes.
yeah. It's somehow ugly and beautiful at the same time as well.
Yeah.
It's like it's
a shiny game with some bad art direction.
Yeah.
Ambitious art direction.
Well, I think
Yeah,
the
bad,
thing
but-
about it is the same. I think the look of it is the problem with the whole game, is that nothing gels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just no cohesion between any of its systems. Like the fighting is really strange. I find the melee. I feel like it wants me to do melee.
Yeah.
But then anytime I use the gun was so overpowered that I dropped everybody. But the aiming of the gun is this weird auto aiming, sort of like you just sweep the mouse in the general direction of the character that you want to attack, and it locks onto them. But then when you're facing 3 or 4 characters, it's like that's such a there's no reticule, like so you're kind of just guessing how far to move across to the next person.
Yeah.
And just to add on a visual level, haven't played it, you've got this very realistic lighting and sort of very polished engine that then, you're right, is playing with some weird looking art design creatures. You've got, as you said, cartoon comic book style text popping up, but then the rest of your menus are like minimal, basic font and color block. Like, you're right, it just feels like
and when you
Flash.
when you like you're in this kind of world, and then when you loot a character, they give you an item with a punny, silly name, with a Fortnite-style menu splash.
looked like.
And I feel like, and then I got out into the actual open world, like you finish the thing and you get out of the way.
You skip near the end.
Who is the
And
developer?
I looked at the map and I was just like, go fuck yourself.
It's huge.
Enormous. Like Ubisoft wish they could make a game this big. And I was just like, if the game is filled with the stuff that I've experienced over the past like hour and a half, I'm just so sadly uninterested in it. And I think it's one of those things of like, it's so ambitious. But like, should you have been this ambitious? Probably not. Like, just because you could do this doesn't mean that you're going to make something good. Like, like imagine if you had made a smaller game with a tighter focus, because there's clearly a lot of talent at this studio.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are like 60% of the way to being a cool thing. And that's most of the things in the game. And there's just so many things. It's like, why do I have a net to catch goobies or whatever? And then there's like funny names for everything. And it's like, is this a humorous game or is it serious? I think it's trying to be humorous, but not really. Like, it's just like, it's like kind of passively light.
Yeah.
It's not funny. It's just a bit light.
That's a good way of putting it. And there's the narrator. There's a narrator that... So the characters all talk to each other, but they talk in sort of like gibberish, and then the narrator summarizes what you just heard. So like they basically translate what you just heard. And it's like...
That's a kind of interesting sounding thing on paper, but like...
But like after 4 dialogue encounters, you're just like, skip the gibberish stuff to get to the narrator, and then you'd skip the narrator by accident. And I think it was a bad sign when I was like, we got the codes for this. I was like, what is this game? And then last week, a trailer came out that said, what is Biomutant from the developers? And I watched the entire 7-minute trailer and it finished and I went, what is Biomutant?
It's like Deathloop. I'm screwed.
Totally.
Apparently very repetitive in terms of the actual missions and quests you go on. That's a lot of the reviews.
It just like...
just goes same again, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste.
And even just like pretty uninspired, they felt like... fetch questy, and like the first, I stopped after an hour because I was like, you come out into the massive open world, and like there's promise of some interesting things happening, and then it's like the first thing is like there's this tribe war between 2 factions, and you can go and communicate with these factions. Like that's interesting if any of the character interactions are good, and I've already learned that they're not good enough, so it's gonna be not good. I was like, nah.
And the first one, not good. So that's a shame. But
it's hard to put a game like this down when you're like, pretty.
And there's so many things.
Just, what's over the next hill?
I love a lush foresty
lush,
environment.
shiny forest.
Yeah.
Stephanie, you also love a vault of glass.
I do love a vault of glass, especially when they give me raid exotics on the second looted clear. But Peter played it day one.
Where's that rope?
I feel like you should lead. I feel like you should lead this discussion.
Oh yeah. Well, we've both played Vault of Glass. We both had a crack day one as well.
It's a new old raid. So this is a raid that was in Destiny 1.
Yep.
I never...
The first raid.
There's Drang.
I never played it.
The best gun.
I played a bit of Destiny 1, but I never did the raid. So bringing it back is exciting for people who loved it and exciting for people who never got the chance to play it. And it's interesting to be able to see how far raids have come in Destiny 2, because it's beautiful. Everything in Destiny environment-wise is beautiful, but there's like a lot of reused locations, like a lot of encounters that take place in the same location.
Yeah, it's like, well, a room is used for 3 encounters as opposed to you're constantly moving to the next area. We started, for people who joined us on the stream, thank you so much. It was good fun. We started streaming The Booze. A typo, and instead of being Da Boys, ended up being Da Booze.
Oh, good.
So we were Da Booze.
Mm-hmm. That's a typo that would evolve 20 years later to still be on the jerseys you got made when you have the reunion.
And we started at 8 o'clock in the morning, and we finished at 6:30.
Yep.
So it was a 10.5 hour stream.
I came in because I was doing a charity fun run that morning.
Yeah.
And so I came back in the afternoon, and then I walked in and I was like, how are you going? And he's like, we're still going. And I was like, okay. And then I would sort of periodically come in and I'd be like, how are you going? He's like, we're stuck on the last encounter. I was like, oh no. But then I heard the exclamation of joy and relief.
we have that moment, don't we?
We do.
Let's see that. Where we finally at 6:29.
Good super.
My light had run out of battery. Oh my goodness! Well fucking done.
Yay!
Oh my goodness, that deserves putting the light back on.
Vault of glass. Triumph complete.
Nice.
So as you can tell, it was not worth it at all.
Wow.
It was just relief that it was over.
Yeah.
Who are we hearing there? Who are you doing this with?
The booze. Avexia, a pawn called Bishop, Sam, Eva Ray, myself,
Reese.
and Reese.
Well done. Well done to all.
Killing it.
And then the person that you sometimes raid with, the person with perfect pitch.
Yeah, so
I rated with Brainstorm. So
Right,
Brainstorm,
okay.
it was Brainstorm's birthday, so he had like family stuff on.
Yeah, right.
So I was like, I don't want to do full day. I mean, apart from the fact that I was doing this charity thing, I still have a lot of like nervousness and anxiety around like my skill level, and I don't like being a part of something that.
there's a lot of pressure on.
There's a lot of pressure.
All cogs
like
working.
I don't want to be the reason somebody else doesn't get something that they want.
Yeah,
do you know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that day
yeah.
one stuff I find is very high pressure. It was like when we were going for flawless, we tried a few times, and at one point I almost cried because I died, and I could hear the like frustration, and I was like, I don't want to do this. This is not why I play games. And then we ended up doing it. It was great. Now I'm really proud of that.
Flawless being
getting through the entire raid with no one dying.
No one in the team dies at all.
But there's also like, it's not even just that it's like you get killed by an enemy. There's just like this really elaborate jumping sections that are really hard to do.
so you could just be like, I'm doing great, and I just miss.
You missed
And to
just-
give an indication of how hard doing it on day one is, I think I've done something like 60 clears of the previous raid, and have died in that previous raid 150 times or something like that. I did the day one raid. I've checked the raid report. I died 250 something times.
Wow.
In the one attempt.
Getting to the point where you're confident to do it flawless, everyone just has to be like, so you've done it so many times that it's like you could do it blindfolded.
And for people who didn't know, the perfect pitch was regarding one of the ways that you fought a boss.
Yeah, so there's a mechanic in this where there are kind of these oracles, which are like these little boxes that ping with a light and make a chime. And one of the guys that we play with, Brainstorm, is a musician. He teaches like saxophone and stuff, so he's got perfect pitch.
Cool.
And so he, without having to look at the lights of the colors, was able to line up the notes that they were making with numbers, and so he could call the numbers just based on the notes that he was hearing.
That's insane.
And that totally blew up online because I've heard two podcasts that I listened to have referenced him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
The last
he'd
one
be
was
stoked.
Waypoint. It was the Waypoint podcast, and Cardo was talking about the new raid, and he was like, "There's a guy who has perfect pitch. It's fucking insane."
Yeah. I think he submitted it to Destiny for their like movie of the week, but I'm not sure. If
great.
So cool.
was it. But that'd be cool if they use it. But yeah, it's a fun raid in spite of the fact that it reuses locations, because I think and what's great about all these raids is all the different roles that it kind of forces you into. But that the final encounter in particular is just really hard. It's hard to kind of get the damage in. There's a lot of things that you have to juggle. Everyone needs to be like on top of multiple things at once. And even like the sort of after doing it a couple of times, we still get sort of stumped by that final encounter. There's always something that happens, or you drop one ball when you're trying to juggle so many balls, and it's like the whole thing falls apart. And I was like, I think we started at 10:30 and then we were still going at 1:30, and I was like, oh god, why did we do this? But
and I just had the question, we were speculating last week about how similar this was to the first game's raid. Is it reworked? Is there much that it feels significantly?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't remember a moment of it really. I remembered kind of the boss room.
Yeah, okay.
And one of the tunnels that you run down, I was like, oh yeah, I have been here. It was like, I mustn't have done it. And then I would see a bit and I was like, no, I've definitely been here.
Okay.
But they have tweaked things to make it a little more challenging, like the oracles that spawn with a note. There used to be oracles there, but I think you could kill them in any order. They've just upped the challenge a little bit. It looks Nicrotex has shared the Bishop's clip of Brainstorm doing that thing. So
yeah,
check it out.
I really I'm really enjoying it, and I'm enjoying it having done all the other raids. I managed to like do all of them at least once before they kind of pulled them out of the game, and I've done Deepstone heaps now. I'm looking forward to getting to the point where I can do this as well as Deepstone, because that was so hard when we first started. And I remember like being so nervous to take on any role except the one that I'd learned. And then eventually was like, okay, I'm willing to learn this one now until I felt comfortable across the whole raid in any position really. And I'm looking forward to being in that place. Because right now I'm literally just, people are like, Steph, can you? And I'm like, no, I can only do this one thing and I will not do anything else. And I stand here in the same spot every time.
I'm very glad, and congratulations to both of you for beating that, because I know you were really looking forward to it, and it's an amazing achievement. And for everyone watching who's sick of talking about new Destiny content, don't worry. It's now time to talk about old Destiny content, because I've been playing Destiny 2 Forsaken, and I got very inspired by you guys playing Destiny. And as always, I dip in and out. I haven't just dipped in. I'm like just I'm a slippery Destiny seal.
What are you playing on?
PC. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I thought I saw. It's just that I did happen to see that you joined the clan, the Back Pocket clan, but then I saw like a PSN thing.
Yeah, but that's
I thought
just
maybe it was like a PlayStation.
I started on PSN, so when it did the account merging, it makes PSN my primary one. So when I join anything, it says I'm PSN, but I'm joining across all.
Can we just like pick a day, like next month, where we just play like together for like an hour?
Sure. You will hate the way that
I don't care. I feel like you're doing what I do, in which you're putting a lot of pressure in the situation and it's stopping you from having fun. That's what I do. Don't be like me. I'm bad when I do that, because I like make it unfun for myself, and at the end of the day, like no one fucking cares.
Yep. The thing that I have, yes, I will. I will do that. The way that I play games is I play something for 15 minutes, I alt-tab out, I look at Reddit for a bit, I walk away, I pick up a child, I make a drink, I come back, I put on a TV show, I play a game for a bit, I quit that game and I put a new, I'm still holding the child. Like, I'm so scatterbrained when it comes to that stuff. So, and then as soon as someone's like, hey, let's play games together, I'm like, don't you fucking tell me what to do with my time. But I will do it. But I had given up on Destiny. I'd started Beyond Light and then I dropped it. I played Shadowkeep. I mean, I've been playing Destiny since it came out. But Forsaken was the one campaign that I started, and then I sort of fell off pretty quickly. And then Shadowkeep came out. I think I auto-leveled up to meet Shadowkeep or something. And so I never actually finished Forsaken. So I went back and played Forsaken this weekend. I did it in one day while Pete was doing the raid. And my God, it is the best piece of content Destiny have put out. And I don't think you've played it, have you?
I haven't done Forsaken, no.
Have you?
No.
I don't
we
think so. I think we started.
Yeah, we're partway through.
Because actually Forsaken has a lot of Dreaming City stuff, and that's my favorite part of the game. Like visually, it's really beautiful.
Clarify for me, it is campaign based.
It is campaign based. Yeah. Okay, and so the idea is, and really big Destiny 2 spoilers, but these are spoilers from like 2017.
I don't care.
2018, whenever it came out.
I'm probably going to.
And it's Cade. The Forsaken campaign begins with Cade, the robot voiced by Nathan Fillion, gets shot and killed.
Oh my God, I can't believe you just said that on stream.
And you
I
really
knew that.
It's been
in
years.
the trailer.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
No, it's totally
total Grogu.
Total Grogu.
But then the idea behind the campaign is that you then hunt down all these people who've escaped this prison.
Yeah, right.
And the brilliant thing about it is there's no kind of like filler mission. Every mission is, except for the first hour where you do a bunch of dumb side quests for Spider. But then every quest after that is go beat the trickster, go beat the jailer, go beat the whatever. And everyone is like a cool level, a cool boss fight with a cool mechanic, awesome story stuff, and like a great conceit behind the whole thing. It just ties together so well in a way that like very rarely MMO content has a real sort of like narrative wrapper that feels very satisfying in a piecemeal, as opposed to like, oh, I get why Arthas is involved in this because 10 years ago this piece of content came out. This is super like really self-contained and really fun and just fucking awesome.
Are you running it solo?
Yeah, the campaign stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
And so now I'm totally up to date with all that stuff. I'm now going through. I need to go into the Destiny channels in Discord and start figuring out like what weapons exotics have I missed over the past couple of years that I should be getting. What is the meta at the moment?
Too many.
The scout rifles suck.
Too many
at the moment. Blah blah blah.
Too hard. can't catch up.
Of course, she started. She only
No, but we haven't
started
caught up.
6 months ago.
We haven't caught up. It's exhausting playing Destiny.
I know it's exhausting.
Yeah.
I
It's
play
just-
Destiny.
I know.
I will never have like all the good guns, but I feel like I know like the ones to prioritize, and but yeah, you can't. I'm constantly like burning through my resources because I can't play enough to get the mats that I need to keep like infusing my gear to make it all the right level.
Bishop is right though. It's like just get Anarchy and then you're done.
Yeah.
What's Anarchy?
It's a grenade launcher that shoots sticky electric grenades on things.
But then you can
just shoot
make
them and
little
hide.
like tripwirey things.
That's
and then,
cool.
Like you can make a little triangle of electric thing,
Yeah,
and then
right.
things get caught in it, and they go. Bzzz.
Do we like the pulse rifle that came at the end of Beyond, which refills its ammo if you get precision shots?
I don't really like pulse rifles.
Apparently
in general.
not. Yeah, I don't
Was
like
that No
pulse
Time to
rifles in
Explain?
general. I can't remember. No, it's not No Time to Explain.
I've used a weapon
Cold
that's done
front?
that before already. And
Cold front.
yeah.
It sucks, says Avexia. All right, cool.
That's not a new feature though. That's been in a previous weapon.
Potentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, I'm back into Destiny. I'll be with all you guys doing the Destiny stuff soon, and Steph and I will play an hour of Destiny next month. Angus, you put down that you've been playing Destiny 2 Forsaken campaign in the
In the rundown. Everyone had written
It was
Destiny 2 and I was like, Destiny 2 Forsaken. I was like, I wonder if I'll catch anyone off.
Talk to us about something we don't normally talk about.
All right. Well, there's a little game where you respond to the call of the duty. I've never stopped playing COD, Warzone, specifically Plunder. You all know this. However, they released this little upgrade recently, which is the most superficial, most just like. It has no substance to the game whatsoever. Update.
Oh my
that
God.
Has Sylvester Stallone as Rambo. But more importantly, and not seen as much in this trailer, but I have my footage after this. John McClane has been added as a character from Die Hard, and not only that, they've added Nakatomi Plaza to the map of Verdansk, a map that I have gone on record, obviously, to say I'm just uninspired by how little they do to it. So what do? They put a high-rise building in, which I thought. What a cheap way of trying to like spruce up what is a pretty plain, boring map.
Every time you talk about COD, you're like, this is so lazy. I love it so much.
This is why I love it, because I'm currently playing. I've purchased. Look at this takedown.
This is so like you who loves like classic films. It's like they've shoehorned this thing that is so core to who you are into the game that you play the most.
So I purchased this skin and weapons and things that come with it. It's one of the first things. This is me and a mate doing a drop. So the start of Warzone is now the beginning going.
Amazing. Oh my God.
Rambo and John McClane. And I did not expect to be this giddy about playing these two characters.
Oh my God.
And then
Will's having a good time over
they've added a few small little like objectives that you can run during Plunder and Warzone, which are all based around Nakatomi Plaza. Which again, I was like, what a shit building. I've gone in there. There is so many little details they've added to it that make me just go squee. It's like it is. You can go to the basement where the limo is parked with the teddy bear in it.
I saw the teddy bears in it, which is so
You can
cool.
go to the elevator shaft that's propped open with the axe. You go to the second level above the lobby of the base of the area, and there's blood on all the floor running into the bathroom to where he does his feet in the.
At this point, can I point out how awful that all sounds to someone who isn't interested in Die Hard to go, you can go to the basement, you can go to the second level of the lobby, you can crawl in the vents.
So,
wow.
It shouldn't be.
The film
It shouldn't be exciting, but it's great. One of the best things about it is that because you're playing as this character, all the voice commands that would be attached to any of the operators are all lines ripped directly from the film, which is so stupid. But you'll be running around, you'll fire a bazooka off the top of the building, and you'll hear,
It's Christmas.
Welcome to the party, pal. You'll hear go to the coast, have a few laughs. All those lines.
Is it him?
It's him. They are isolated and cleaned up from
the film.
From the film.
Yeah, right.
film.
Oh, amazing.
They're like, just
so it's
like-
actually the
It's Bruce
delivery
Willis.
you remember as well.
Yes,
like
exactly. And when they just occasionally when you jump out of the chopper, it does the Bruce Willis scream when he jumps off.
That's amazing.
You climb through all the elevator shafts, that kind of stuff. Again, it's not great because what I love about Warzone is open, medium ranged.
Let me get just the energy and excitement in your voice. Again, to be cut off by. Again, it's not great.
No, but there's a but coming, Peter. There's a but coming. The idea is that I'm not great at playing close quarters on Warzone. I like larger skirmishes. Yeah. So I like getting in a helo like this and jumping around. You have to disarm the C4 on the top of the building, a la the movie. So I like doing the objectives and running around like that, less running around a tight, small confined space.
Sure.
Here come the butts as well.
It attracts a lot of people to this area, so it's super spicy.
I was going to say, everyone's still dropping there?
Everyone's still dropping there. There isn't a helo or a helicopter that just circles the roof firing at you, so you just, again, parts of the film that feel very authentic. The best thing we did as a group is that one of the small objectives that's been added is that you have to find 4 key cards to open the safe. So you all collect 4 key cards. These are just for like basic XP. There's a few 80s name tag badges that you unlock, which do not interest me. But we got all the key cards. We all got up to the safe, and we all went to open it. And it's the big rotating safe that opens, a la the movie. And we all on mic at the same time went da 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 da, and started doing the, which it doesn't play in the movie, but we all started singing "Ode to Joy," and then we all went and left off the building. It's dumb, it's silly, and it's just a fun little bit of flavor that I've been enjoying. There's a few extra modes they've added, which are like die hardpoint in the multiplayer.
Yep.
Which if you've played, it's basically hardpoint but revved up because you'll explode in 30 seconds if you don't get a kill.
That's
it's
great.
So stupid. Everyone's just exploding.
Good.
There's nothing really as clever as close to the film source material as this, but I did not expect it to have such a little giddy feeling of having shootouts in these very basic locations. There's also prisoner of war camps dotted around a la Rambo, where you have to go and get dog tags, and that gets you some extra operator skin or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
Again, I'm never in this stuff for the rewards. It's for the atmosphere of why I like playing these games. And so, yeah, I've just been having a heap of fun reliving some action movie memories with some friends, but it is like lighthearted kind of stuff. There's also another Warzone mode where you collect dog tags to buy yourself back in, but I do not play the traditional Warzone Battle Royale because it is just...
This is in Plunder as well, this map?
This is all Plunder. Yeah, it's in Vanilla, so that's why we play it, and we'll,
I wish I really hope that they add like a die-hard Nakatomi Plaza level to Black Ops as well, like, because at the moment you can just buy, in Black Ops multiplayer, you can buy the skins, and I'm playing, and I'm like in a snowy Russia level, and
With
I'm sort of
6
like
Rambos.
coming around, and then suddenly just John McClane runs past and just goes, yeah, and knifes me and runs off. I'm like, that's not true to the character.
So it's really breaking the immersion.
Yeah, totally.
The two, and this is such like, such bro moments, but the 2 executions, Rambo jumps over them with an exploding arrow of a bow, and John McClane, when you get the jump on someone, will let them pull their gun on you, and he puts his hands behind his back, pulls the gun, takes his back, and then does the happy trail.
That's funny.
Very, very silly. I haven't had a lot of time to play stuff, so this has been my half an hour at night, just blow off some steam and really
let off some steam.
Yeah, really enjoying that. But when I want to spend some more time doing something a little more time-consuming and intricate, and I want to waste time, Peter's not up for this. He didn't care. He doesn't want to know about.
Well, you did open with when I want to waste time.
Then I spend time behind the wheel of a big rig.
Oh.
I have been playing SnowRunner, which is a game that came out last year but is currently free on Game Pass.
Mm-hmm. Is it?
Yeah, and maybe it was on the PS Plus Pass.
Looks
Beautiful.
beautiful.
At one point as well. It is a very good-looking game by the sense that it recreates I'm going to call the Midwest. I think I'm in, Nebraska or something here. I found I have this utter joy in time-wasting games set doing menial tasks in the Midwest of America.
We've noticed.
Be it hunting, be it fishing, or be it navigating four-wheeled vehicles to the finest amount of detail through muddy terrain to do the most dull chores, which are get wood from a lumberyard and take it to a mill. It's stuff like that. But the way these vehicles control, if anyone's played MudRunner, obviously the prequel to this, it is amazing the level of physics and the way your vehicles handle. You can't quite see it probably here until you get into some thick stuff, but You really have to. That was ambitious. But essentially,
I'm sorry. It's just like when you get into some thick stuff, and then it's like the biggest assed truck you possibly put in.
And I picked up all the metal pylons, so I was like, yeah, I can get it all there in one go. I'm also pulling a trailer full of timber. I get stuck straight away.
Yeah.
But what's really the thing I found really interesting is how intricate it gets in terms of the control over all your wheels, the realism in terms of like you are switching into low range gears, you are putting in extra suspension modes, you have to winch your way out of a lot of situations you find yourself into.
So is it designed, I'm guessing because of the name, is it designed to get you stuck in stuff all the time? Like
everywhere is flooded, there's thick mud. And sometimes as you do
Ditch the wood.
once you do pull yourself through it, watching your tires sink in and going, this is getting worse before it gets better. Like, if I just try and brute force my way through this section of road, I'm just going to sink deeper and deeper.
I almost see these games as like a mindfulness exercise.
They totally are.
Because you're right. On paper, they sound like, why would you ever want to spend time doing this? You're just dragging items from A to B. But it really is like you have to focus in on something so like minute that it kind of takes you into a different meditative state.
So the opening tutorial for this is probably about 40 minutes to build a bridge and get over it.
Yeah.
And I started it with 3 other friends of mine who we all enjoy playing these fishing, hunting, whatever sims.
I didn't know you could play these. Were you playing in multiplayer?
So this has co-op, but you need to get through the tutorial to to open the co-op.
Okay.
One thing I will criticize this game about heavily is how difficult it is to navigate through the menus because trucks are dotted around the world. You need to find them to access them, but then you don't own them. You go to a garage and you can't put that car permanently in there or that truck, and then multiplayer or co-op doesn't have those trucks, so you can actually start a co-op game without a truck stuck in a garage and you can't go on foot, and you're like, I can't play this. I have to back out and go back into solo and move the vehicle in. So there's some real bad management or difficult to navigate management. But basically my other friends who are really into this stuff, I went through the 40-minute tutorial. I'm like, I'm here, I'm at the garage. They're like, I'm still bogged. I'm heavily bogged.
Amazing.
And they're really like, they're headstrong idiots. So they're like, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to cross country. So they just like got so frustrated that they uninstalled, and I don't know if I'll have the friends to play this with anymore. But again, I pushed on with a few jobs, and they were really satisfying to do some very mundane stuff. I will say, it's one of the most satisfying, gaming experience I have had in 2021 is getting bogged and managing to successfully switch into the right gear and winch yourself out of there. You will never clench your controller harder. You will never grit your teeth harder and sit on the edge of your seat watching a car go like, like, come on. And then the tree starts going, and you're like, oh no. And the tree's not strong enough. And you're pulling. You're like, fuck it, lose the trailer. Trailer falls off the back. You're like,
are you in first person mode in this? When you hop out of the
back
truck?
And forth.
Right, okay.
You can't get out of the trucks at all.
Oh, so how do you winch?
Oh, the winch is like you find, if you're in a circumference of something that can
Okay,
cool. And yeah, pulling yourself out and then watching these sunk tires just slowly lift out. You're like, I'm doing it. And it was again, maybe if that was just worth the install alone, that was the best thing I did all week.
Now we just need like a sim version of the tow bar with your dad in the middle of Australia.
The reason I played this was coming off the back of a bit of four-wheel driving.
Totally.
The 2 dumb things I did work out is I played one multiplayer session with someone and we were trying to help each other tow each other around. You just winch to each other and just go and pull your trucks back and forth. And then the other fun thing is to drive at full speed and hit that attach winch button to whatever is around you. So at full speed, you can just attach it, like launch up, do massive damage. But yeah, there's heaps of sim elements to this, which I probably won't get as into. But you know, you're managing fuel, you're managing looking after it. It does probably look more boring than I'm trying to make it out. But
no. You may have thought that I was ignoring you because while I was off camera, I took out my phone and it looked like I was texting someone. I actually remote installed this game to my PC. I get home, I can check this out.
Look, even if you
that meditative thing that you were talking about and like that zone out thing, I'm into that.
But there's also a reason why these sims are so popular. Like it's I remember the first like train sim I saw, I was like, what? And then I went on Steam and saw like all of this train sim content, and I was like, okay, this is a whole thing.
Yeah.
And when you watch people stream them, it's you get it. It's like when you're in the mood for this specifically, like I totally see why it
We'll
works.
see if you can scrub. This is
And it's beautiful.
all the way to the end or near halfway through. Oh, there you go. There you go.
Wow, yeah, that's really in there.
What? Get out of it?
No.
No, this isn't my footage directly, but I did the same thing as the tutorial, so that's what I was watching. This was someone very much stuck. The thing I'm intrigued about is this game is huge. This is one of, I think, maybe like 8 maps in different biomes, and there is...
Are you choosing your own
Where's
route?
the snow?
Yeah, that must be...
Because I played a bunch of this last year. The snow section is, despite it being called SnowRunner, is so beyond what you're doing here.
Oh, really?
It's like, because you eventually unlock the different locations as you
Right.
go. And eventually I got snow, and I'm like, I'll give it a go. And I just drove out of the driveway and just got submerged, and I'm like...
I'm stuck. It's interesting because obviously... I'm done.
That's a no to
Obviously,
snow.
there's a vehicle that can combat that, or that can deal with that. Obviously, there is a way to do all these things, and it is like, it's a tough game. Like, if you just try to play it like a regular video game, the one weird thing as well is that your wheels don't autocorrect when you let go of the steering and just accelerate.
Right,
So when
yeah,
you turn
okay.
the wheel and then you let go of steering and just accelerate, you'll keep turning in that direction. So you've actually got full control, which helps you get out of slower situations.
It's like someone said in the chat, I'm sorry, I missed who, but they said it's effectively a puzzle game. It's like
Yeah,
you're,
it is.
you're
Yeah,
puzzle solving to get out of
You'll
these
get to an
situations.
area where it's a huge swamped paddock and there's one car stuck in there and you've got to get it out. And you're like, I have to get a winch, I have to get out there.
Do you choose your own route, or is it like a set route and you're going to encounter certain things on that route
You
regardless?
choose which way you want to go. And often you'll get to somewhere and be like, this is impassable at this point. I'll have to either look at a different way to get there or...
Yeah, okay.
And yeah,
That's
sometimes you think you're going the right way and it just gets thicker and thicker and you're like, okay, I can keep going. I can
Made a
keep going.
bad call.
Yeah, you can recover and get your vehicle back to the shed, but part of me wants to push on to just get past that, getting my head around how to manage your vehicles and how to finish enough tasks to upgrade something that's just got some really good tires on it that'll get me out of these problems.
And being a sim, are there like assists and sliders and stuff then?
This is probably more game than sim, I would say. Like,
Okay.
it is a tailored sim, and that's probably why it's got more appeal, because it has...
Like, is there a setting in this where you can just like fang it through the city and through the country and it's like no big deal?
That's called Forza.
There may have been some like challenge modes where they would let you go and just try an objective 1-to-1, but I was really trying to get to the co-op to play with mates, so we were just pushing on with the career.
Because also
physics
it
looks
looks
so good,
like...
man.
Sorry?
The physics look so good.
Yeah, I mean, like, look at the suspension.
The suspension.
Because also it looks like, while it could be open world, like, you can't go driving through the bush.
Yeah.
Like, it's these tracks and paths.
You could, but I
can,
feel like you would get
and
stuck.
like you can, and there'll be people who are awesome at this. Yeah, as Will said, there'll be people who have like a Hummer with high range and like high clearance and big expensive tires.
Cool. Yeah,
and you watch them. Like the trailer for this, the trailer is so super high energy, like a hardcore rap song.
Yeah.
And there's all these flash frames of trucks and Hummers, and you're like, and then the game is this.
Yeah.
And again, it is like
I'm so into this. I want to finish the show. I want to go play. I want to drive snowy trucks.
It's strange, as I said, and you'll look at a puddle, and one of the ideas was like, I'll go around that puddle. Bang, my friend
This
just got wedged in there, and he's like, I'm so
This
stuck. I
is
should've just gone
ideal
through the
stream
puddle."
content for you, I
You
think.
reckon?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it'll give you the space to kind of just talk and like
Buy
you know,
books online.
and buy books online and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
also doing something that's just like
true.
really
We should
enjoyable.
do that.
Yeah.
Or the
That
deliveries
next
from
week.
convenience
Yep.
stores.
And then, like, finally, I'll just say, like, next to winching, the like switching out
I like to have fun.
little parts of me do feel like a little boy playing with a toy truck, because like getting out and switching back into all the gears and just hearing it like vroom, take off again, you're like, something about me just goes like, this is like I'm sitting in a sand pit.
And
playing with
yeah,
toys.
right, yeah.
Oh,
And what is you said there's like, you go and deliver wood and that sort of stuff.
thank you, Will.
Is that,
This is the game.
this is, what is that getting you? Is that getting you money to buy better trucks and stuff?
Yeah. You get a range of objectives that are all like, head to this area to pick up stuff to move it somewhere else. Some of them are like pulling vehicles out. Some of them are like, you can't do any of these objectives until you have a truck with a crane that'll let you drag something out. I will say that is quite cryptic at the start. You do need to read all the contracts you can do and work out which ones might actually you not have the right vehicles for.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I wouldn't say a sim, but in that sense it goes, here's too much at the beginning. for you to mess. There's way too much to mess up and say this game's dumb. I'm not going to play it. And to Mike and Marky who gave up and uninstalled, screw you. I'm going to keep playing. Okay, get this. This is a Gus story. We were all talking about the tutorial, and then we were all making jokes about the tutorial, being like, I can't believe we're still stuck here. We're all making like buying trucks jokes and all that kind of stuff. At one point, they're like, Gus, we've stopped playing 20 minutes ago. We're playing Rainbow Six. And I was like, oh, screw you.
Oh, that's brutal.
They were giggling, and I was like, wait a minute. They're like, come play Rainbow Six. We're waiting. I was like, all right. They enjoyed that. So, works.
But that means you would have had to get changed out of the trucker outfit that you bought yesterday morning and into your siege outfit.
Yeah.
And that's a process.
It is. Real life, just work like home.
All right, cool. I'm super excited for this. I will stream this. And yes, as Chat said, I will order donuts. And I will say that I had, this morning, I sat down with a coffee. The Amazon books that I ordered last night at 4 o'clock on stream arrived this morning while I was sitting down having my coffee. And I enjoyed a strawberry donut for breakfast.
Lovely.
How fancy. All right, that is all the games that we have been playing this week. We're going to go to a break and
work out what's happening next.
Yeah, we'll figure out what to do for the next 20 minutes.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm not on the fucking stream. Oh my god, there's so much fucking going on. You're missing so much good stuff. Oh my fucking god. Okay, let's go fuck a tree up.
Sick of being seen? Camo! Wanna hide in plain sight? Camo! Wanna spy on deer? Camo! Wanna shoot those deer? Camo! Want to get close enough to a pack of deer that you could dress up as a deer, gradually earn their deer trust, become accepted as one of their own, wait until the stag dies and inherit alpha control of the herd, guide that deer herd for a decade until you're the most celebrated deer elder, and then shoot that deer and mount it on a fucking wall? Camo! Camo camping equipment. You've seen the rest, now try and find the best. You can't, because it's camo.
There it is.
Let's give it to him.
He said
nice.
Well done. Well done.
Another 5.
You ramped up there at the end.
Wow, what is that music?
That's the big party theme, mate.
It's party, yeah. It's big party time. Party.
There was a lot of Nick humiliation in that ad break.
So good.
That was so funny.
So good.
It's so funny.
Your face.
I remember that moment as well. Like, he totally blanked me, and that look was real. Like, well, fuck you. You're never coming on my show again.
He was like, doesn't matter. It's getting cancelled tomorrow.
Oh god, so funny. And also, we saw there a promo for the last Resident Evil stream that I did yesterday.
Yep.
Where a very climactic fight. I forgot that I was.
I've done that so many times because I'm so oblivious. I'd leave it for ages, and people are like, Steph, we can't see the game.
And LokiCat at the start, such a prolific author. I remember even when we were like making OG Pocket, it was like, LokiCat is an author What an incredible accomplishment.
Yeah, totally.
And has just been putting out more and more books ever since, as you do as an author.
That's their job.
So good.
And I bought, I think it's her first book, Jin? Yeah. I bought that on stream yesterday.
Nice.
It's coming from America. I bought
Interesting.
Well, because there was the Kindle version, which was $2.99.
Yeah.
And I said to her, "You'll get more money if I buy the paperback, right?" She was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And then they didn't sell in Australia, so I ended up spending $60 on the book. But it's worth it because
nice.
she'll get that sweet. She'll get $1.50 instead of
The
80
same
cents.
cut we get from our Redbubble store.
From our Redbubble store, exactly.
I've just finally reached Cersei in my to-read pile, so I'm like halfway through it. I'm really enjoying it.
Are you enjoying it?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was a gift from Nick.
I've got a gift for Gus.
Ooh.
Should I give it to him now?
Yeah.
I don't know. Wait.
Hang on.
I'm trying to set the Pockart up.
Yeah, but I could give you this instead. Oh, okay, fine. I'll give it to you in the post show?
Yeah.
Okay. Gus, we're doing a Pockart. Cut to the Pockart titles.
Well, I mean, okay, hang on. 1 second. what are we
They're
doing?
there. You did
That's
it.
not it.
That's not
this
it?
is it.
You
yeah,
screen it.
Thanks to
On a full screen.
Nicrotex.
This is brought to you by Nicrotex. I didn't even look up the fucking Nicrotex tweet.
Let me look at Nicrotex's most recent tweet.
Yeah, look up it live. Should we do it live?
Yeah. Well, let's pick one.
Nick Belling.
We weren't ready.
Okay.
We weren't this.
Okay. No, that's not good.
It's not a bad tweet.
No,
It's
that was bad.
just, it's just not worth reading out.
That one
that's
sucks.
not good.
He's just having
That's not good.
Oh, that's
thoughts
awful.
about life.
No.
Oh, really? On Twitter?
No, let's not do that.
No, not that one. Go to his first tweet.
Okay.
Just cut all this out, Will, in post. Yeah, tighten this bit up.
I just saw a tweet where Nicrotex said that he was annoyingly close to affiliate. And I don't know if he's reached affiliate yet, but if you could follow him on Twitch, then
Go
that would
and
probably
follow
help him get there.
Nicrotex on Twitch.
That'd be a nice thing to do for one of our
Because
amazing sponsors.
Nicrotex is the bomb and a great streamer as well. You will not be disappointed.
I'll tell you what, these tweets are fucking lot, though.
Just go from there. Where are we? What year are we?
September 19, 2019.
2019. What a year.
Today is one of those real put on and tie up your shoes before you notice you haven't put your pants on kind of days.
We've all been there. Yep. That's a Larson comic right there.
I do that sometimes, but in reverse, where I'm so excited to take off my clothes that I take off my pants before I've taken off my shoes, and then I get down to where my shoes are, and I'm like, God damn it.
God damn it. God damn it.
We're stuck.
So this is Pockart, where we make you a picture. Gus?
Oh, no. There he is.
Oh.
It was a bit.
A little bit of a problem. Genuine problem. Actually a bit stuck.
Actually?
Like things around my neck.
Here, let me help you.
Thank
This is why you don't do it by yourself, Gus. They always tell you.
you. Can you help? Grandma needs some sugar. Oh!
Wait, stay there. Stay there for 1 second because I need to prove this to someone. Stay there. Stay there.
It's being recorded on the internet.
Stay. Okay, whoa, he's smiling now. Okay, cool. And I'm going to send it.
Hang on. Do you need help? A little bit. Yeah.
I remember on Dennis the Menace that you have to tie each hand individually before you tie them together so that they can't just
Safety
slip out
word.
of it.
Safety word. Thank you.
I'm live on air right now, but it's happening. I told you it would happen. Here's proof. I'm reading this out as I write it.
Nice.
And that's to Banj?
I told him the sexy stuff would happen.
Why don't we knock out a Pockart or two?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Let's
the
crack.
first person is Blue Panda.
I mean, done. Let's just jump in.
And Blue Panda, if you're in the chat, jump on Discord and and congratulations, you have the original Donkey Kong. You are the millionth Pockart.
Blue Panda was in chat years ago when we said that we would do Blue Panda.
Yeah.
We're gonna fly by the seat of our pants for this one at the moment. Blue Panda is 27. She is a animal adoption attendant.
That's lovely.
Ooh.
I don't know what the
That's lovely.
attendant part means. but I know the rest.
That she
was just there for it.
She attends the people that adopt animals out.
She's a witness.
Yeah,
I bear witness to this adoption.
Yeah, I think she probably
And I
does.
approve.
She probably does all the tough, dirty work.
Blue Panda's in
involved.
chat. Can't jump on Discord.
Okay, Blue Panda, call out anything that you don't like. Suggest anything you do want. She lives in an island off the Queensland coast.
Ah, that's where we're going.
Oh, we are going to an island off the Queensland coast.
My God.
No spoilers.
What's the best and worst part of where you live? It's a beautiful place. Worst, there are so many old people.
That's where we're going.
Oh my God.
We're old.
You're the old people. She's interested in animals. You would hope so. Overwatch, Pokemon, especially Eevee and the evolutions of Eevee. I don't know what they are. More E's, maybe? There's already 4 E's in a 5-letter word. Fears. Thalassophobia, the persistent fear of what exists
That's beneath the water. Yeah. That's a fear of the ocean.
Nautica.
I don't like that. You know what I don't like? When you're like
Thalassophobia?
when you're swimming.
Thalassophobia?
When you're swimming in the ocean and the top is like really warm,
Yeah.
but then your feet, it's like really cold down there, and you're like, I don't know what's down there, and it's cold.
And I can't see. What the fuck is down there?
Don't like
So
it.
Gus,
Don't
as
like
per usual, drown that bear.
So and for the unsophisticated people on the
what does
couch
an
with
Eevee
me,
look like?
an Eevee is a very adorable. It's kind of like a cat dog hybrid thing, but it's like a normal Pokemon. It doesn't have any special attributes until you give it a stone. And there's Eeveelutions, which are like you gave this thing a Thunderstone, so it became a Jolteon. It still has the Eon. You give it like it becomes if it evolves at night, it becomes an Espeon or an Umbreon or something.
So it's kind of like a base kind of catch-all for different evolutions.
Yeah.
You don't need to pretend to be interested in this.
But
Crossbun says, I think you mean adults, Pete.
But Blue Panda
dog?
has
Is it
said
a dog?
that they
Cat
love
dog. It's a cat dog.
dogs and they work in an animal shelter. And I think with the Pokemon thing, what if you did maybe like a Pokemon adoption like situation in this picture, Gus?
The fucking bear. Oh my God, I just looked up.
Gus, a Pokemon like a really cute Pokemon adoption thing? Wouldn't that be cute?
What if the blue? What if? What if it's in?
What if it's blue because it's asphyxiated because of all the water it drank?
Well, look, this is the thing. I do think the joke with all the like we draw their fears is like helpful as a way to combat those fears, to deal with things that be like.
Yeah, sure. You do your public service.
I just feel like you're putting stuff into their logos that they don't like.
But that's what we've done literally every single time. Spiders are in 3/4 of the logos that we made.
It's true.
I do like the idea of a blue panda being a Pokemon adoption agent. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes.
So that basically adopts Pokemon as opposed to what normally happens with Pokemon, which they are violently ripped from their homes by
Well, that's
children.
what I'm saying, because they're kind of sold into like, dog fighting rings.
Yeah.
So I feel like we should have a really cute animal situation where the blue panda is like, surrounded by grateful Pokemon who have been adopted.
Who have been rescued. Oh, in the background, Ash is in jail.
Yeah.
in a little
good.
dog catcher jail.
Jail that sucker.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, Ash in jail. Maybe
Blue Panda suggests saving the Eevees from drowning as well.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Love that.
Wait, so is it in the water or not anymore? I'm very confused.
No.
Okay.
There could be a pond with an Eevee in it saying help.
Or Ash Ketchum runs a marine-based smuggling scheme.
Yes.
And this panda is basically the Coast Guard.
Gonna break it wide open.
Has captured Ash Ketchum's ship.
Put a red bikini on this panda. Stat.
Red bikini on the panda. It's basically Hasselhoff. Never hassle the panda
no
Hoff.
bikini top, just the bottom.
Just the bottom. Like Trunks. That'd be cute as.
They're in a little lifeguard boat.
Okay, I was going to have them arresting Ash.
Because
arresting Ash. And then there's some damp Eevee behind.
I just want there to be lots of animals like surrounding the blue panda.
Well, he could put lots of animals in the background, which he always does. You know how he always puts shit in the background of everything?
Yeah.
So the panda is arresting Ash, and there's a wet Eevee who's very grateful for being rescued.
Yep.
How do we feel about that, Blue Panda?
Blue Panda says that the shelter does have a lake attached to it.
That must be really scary for you, Blue Panda.
Excellent.
We don't know what's down there.
Yeah.
Lake.
Don't know what's down
Lake
there.
guard.
It's probably
You don't know
cold
down
at the
there.
bottom.
That's too scary.
Not even in the bottom, just like 3 feet down.
There's a subreddit for that phobia. And it's like they're always just the worst videos because they're just they're composites and stuff like that. It's like someone lowering a GoPro into water and then it's a great white shark taking the camera.
Oh no! It's like all that stuff, and they're like, "Hey, we found a new species of like creature in the Mariana Trench," and it's just like some fucking alien terror beast, with 1,000 teeth, and you're like,
tracks.
"No."
That tracks.
Yeah.
Reese says this Care Bears crossover with Pokemon is getting weird.
Pet Gamer says a wet Eevee. That's just Vaporeon. Good one.
Hey.
That's the water evolution of Eevee.
Okay.
The evolution happens when the stone is presented to the Eevee and it chooses to accept the stone. Or is forced upon it.
I was about
to say, there's no choice.
There's
no choice. You keep telling yourself
You will be this now.
At least I know the games I play are fucked up. Blue Panda says there's a giant skip bin in the lake.
Full of Eevee.
Attached to the thing. So a skip bin has been sunk into the lake.
Oh, a
Nice.
bit like that village in Jindabyne.
Yeah, she's right.
That village, Jindabyne, that we all know about.
No, Jindabyne itself was sunk when they put the Snowy River Dam in, so the old town is underwater. And if you water ski, you've got to watch out for the church spire.
Some say the ghosts of the former town still dwell in that lake.
I like that that's
the start of Tomb Raider.
How did I not know this?
And the tallest point is the church tower from the church that was there, and some say they can still hear the bell toll. I don't know.
Is it sticking out of the water?
I think when the tide is low enough, you can see it.
Yeah.
Do not go in that.
Why is he wearing a shirt? Or
Realness.
she as Blue Panda?
Fine.
No shirt, just
a
red
panda.
trunks.
I'm with Pete. Just red trunks. It's the Coast Guard.
Your official Coast Guard DPs.
It's really been a roller coaster of a show tonight, says Kit Carnage, totally.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else is happening? We got a wet Eevee somewhere.
Wet Eevee's going to be on the shoulder.
Oh, you know what would be great?
Oh, nice.
You know what would be great? I don't know how you do this, but I was going to say the panda could be stuffing Ash into a giant Pokeball.
Kind of like that.
That is good.
Like,
That
have a
is
taste
good.
of your own medicine.
A taste of your own.
What
medicine.
if-
That's
But
the
he's
re-
going
that's the
before
real
he goes in,
prison,
watch your
isn't
head.
it? That's
Watch
the
your
real
head. Watch
prison.
your head. Wouldn't want you to bump that head.
Yeah,
on the way
okay,
to
yeah,
prison when you get shanked.
nice. Yep. I was like, for the scale, it should be.
Yeah,
he's
good,
like,
good.
he's like stepping on the Pokeball, but that's good.
Good.
Make it big. Make it big.
Blue Panda, please pipe up if you're approved.
What else was on the? What else was on the?
Oh yeah,
list? we get some more flavor.
Oh, okay. Weird fact about herself.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh fucking hell. I had 12 teeth taken out as a child because I had too many teeth for the size of my mouth.
Cool.
Blue Panda has a necklace of teeth around its neck.
Yeah. Baby
Just
teeth.
12. 12 baby teeth. Tiny
They
teeth.
have to be baby teeth.
Do you know what I saw?
Milk teeth.
Do you know what I saw that is fucking terrifying? Is
That?
No, is an X-ray of a child's skull.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
so
where
many
the teeth are
teeth.
in the bottom.
Yeah.
Because the teeth are all there. They
Yeah.
just sit there above.
Humans are
the-
gross.
Oh my god, I never thought about that.
Sometimes I look at my daughter and think exactly the same thing. I'm like, there's so many teeth in there that I don't know about yet.
Yeah.
Can Ash Ketchum be saying something like, "You know your judo well," or get your hands off my Pokeball"?
Yeah, get your hands off my Pokeball is great.
It'd be like
A delicious Chinese meal. God.
What's on the shoulder? A wet Vaporeon?
Eevee.
Just Eevee.
guys.
I think Eevee.
Eevee. God
I
damn it.
don't know. They're all stupid. Sorry.
succulent.
Succulent. Thank you very much. That is the greatest succulent.
This is Democracy Manifest.
Will, have you seen this? Oh, good.
Oh, good. Is that what an Eevee looks like? Or is this placeholder?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
placeholder.
that's pretty
But
close.
pretty good, pretty
Okay,
good,
cool,
pretty
cool,
good.
cool, cool.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, God, no.
Now it's there. That's it. Now I'm looking at the game.
I like how Ash. This is the Ash I see. Like, there's anger in those eyes because a real moneymaker has been destroyed.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like he's like, I had a whole racket going.
Yeah.
I would have
I got
gotten away
Jims
for it
involved in
too.
this.
And I think like it'd be cool to have a background of like a really dodgy ship, like an old cargo ship or tugboat or something like that. That's like that's where he's been running his racket out of.
Yeah, all right. I see what you mean.
Are they blue trunks maybe
That's
on the
going to
panda?
be blue, obviously.
Yeah.
That's to remind me. Sorry, are there blue what?
Trunks.
There can
Swimmers.
Swimmers.
There can be.
But you're going to do blue body panded.
Well, that's what I kind of thought. But
Yeah, you totally
you
should
can
do
do
that.
that.
You totally should do that.
You do whatever you want to do, buddy.
Yeah.
one of these, shrink them down, and then what's in the back? A lake with a shipping container?
A Chinese restaurant and
Yep. Attached to a lake.
I don't know.
that has to have. He's drawn.
Is that
Get
a
your hands
reference
off
in
my penis.
is that a reference in the fact sheet, or are you just thinking that's funny?
Yeah, but I don't think that's necessarily what Blue Panda wants.
Blue Panda.
They might not
Do
get
you
the-
want a reference to the iconic arrest of that man who was a dodgy con artist?
In Brisbane Valley, I think.
Because I think you need it.
But it's up to you.
Was there a skip in the water in the background?
Yeah, but
Yes,
yeah.
What?
It should be filled with Pokemon.
Yeah. All
Teeth.
kinds of Pokemon.
It should be filled with teeth.
The Magikarp one. That's like, it looks like Loch Ness.
There will be.
Oh, yeah, a Gyarados.
The Gyarados is what I meant, of course, obviously.
There's been no response from Blue Panda, which I assume means that's
They love it so
100%
much they left.
keen.
Don't do it.
Sure, haha. Yes. Well, the best one is get your hands off my Pokemon. At least is contextually.
Yeah. I like
Attached
that.
to it.
I think that's
Yeah, okay. Okay, sure.
Yeah, it's not the funniest.
It's not the funniest.
Uh,
But that's fine. That's fine. 12 Teeth plays
what did that-
Overwatch and netball.
Speedos weird me out.
what is the charge?
Well, I think we said
Enjoying a
David Hasselhoff
succulent
shorts. You were the
Pokemon
one
racket?
that
But get your hands off my Pokemon.
That
It's appropriate.
drew
for what's going
Speedo.
on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, that's on me.
Oh yeah. Why was it Hasselhoff? Oh, because it's a Coast Guard. That's right.
Coast Guard.
That's who's arresting. Get your hands off my Pokemon. I think is right. It's right because
It's right for the
it's
thing.
a reference to the thing, and
Yeah.
it ties nicely into that.
Yeah. So Ash is saying, "Get your hands off my Pokemon."
we just need lots of grateful animals in the background.
There will
Yeah.
be
That's
heaps-
my one request.
Yeah.
There will be Pokemon
The wholesomeness.
all
Because-
out the back, which look
Should we
like
put a bunch of old people in that skip?
it does look like it's
Okay. Yes, that's better than the Pokemon for sure.
Did you want a Chinese restaurant here, or is there something more relevant to?
No, just the only reference needs to be the "Get your hand off my."
So
hands off
that
my
could be
Pokemon.
the it could be the adoption center, Pokemon
Yeah,
adoption center,
yeah.
or
Yeah, I
animal
like that.
adoption center.
Yeah.
She loves dogs. She said, I asked, describe yourself with 3 words, and she said dogs in capital letters, exclamation mark is number 1, then Pokemon, then colorful.
Yeah,
so it could be a bunch of colorful dogs. The Colorful Dog Adoption Agency.
Yes.
The CDAA.
I love that.
Yep.
I love that.
I'm trying to remember, what do the labs look like, Pete?
They're very basic buildings that are white and red and have a symbol at the doorway.
What's the symbol? Like oh,
It's a dog in this scenario. What was that sound?
is that someone joining the chat?
No, it was like
It was over there.
it was like the TV made a noise.
Barjo?
Barjo?
Was that a whimper of pain? That was
He's in the
very
corner of this shot still.
All right, typical dog here. This will be fixed.
Hey, Will, can I ask a favor? Can we get some M&Ms up in this joint? Did Barjo say this?
There are going to be lots of dogs.
Okay,
I
good.
apologize for how bad my distant hand-drawn quick dog.
I love those little dinosaurs. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they're cute as. They're little Pokemon dogs. M&M's because Grandma needs some sugar.
All right. I feel like I will give Blue Panda a proper Coast Guard style outfit when I do it properly.
Yep.
Outside of just
man
these
now.
tight-fitting hugs, there is a wet, grateful Eevee on the side. Mm-hmm. And there is a very angry, arrested Ash Ketchum, who is
From
saying
Pallet Town.
who's saying what again?
He's saying, "Get your hands off my Pokemon."
All right.
And also, I see you know your judo well.
No.
What a video.
It's the greatest thing that Australia has
It
ever
really
accomplished.
is. It really is.
Yeah.
It's above Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah.
It's above Hugo Weaving.
Bishop, I forgot that one. Are you ready to receive my limp penis?
Okay. These are things that we can't add to this now.
Oh, so good. Every line is so good.
Every line. We have to watch it at the post show.
Yeah.
I looked him up to see where he was now, and I think he does art. He does painting.
Yeah.
He
does.
buy paintings
Watch that
from him.
video, yeah.
And you can buy T-shirts with his quotes from that video.
Oh, we're watching it in the post show. If anyone hasn't seen it, join up to the Patreon.
The only way to watch it.
Post show. It's the only way you can see this. We're gonna Google. Good stuff.
Yay! Okay, there's actually quite a detailed one for little like things that are going to be around.
Yeah.
Why is the skip sinking in the water? Because
It's full of old people.
well, because the blue panda says that in the lake next to the adoption center there is a skip.
Yeah, you'll have to ask her.
But you're going to... Yeah, I'm going to make the lake look a little more cheery by putting heaps of Pokemon either in it or around it that are relevant to Pokemon.
Though I will say, should it be cheery? Because she says she has a fear of lakes. Should it be eerie?
Fear of what?
The opposite of cheery.
Or Eevee.
Oh, well, she has a fear of deep water.
Maybe he did pass away. I don't know if he's still alive.
No, he's alive. It was a rumor he was dead. And then he came out to be like, the videos, he got sponsored by a beer company to be like, I'm still alive.
Excellent.
And drink Han Premium Light.
I think it was alive.
And it didn't kill me.
Yeah. Any extra feature we want to put to Ash? Something to make him look more incriminating that just doesn't look like it's a panda with a grudge?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
He is wearing pants made out of Pikachu.
He's got pockets overflowing with water stones that he was going to force the Eevees to evolve with.
And he's got pants made out of Pikachu.
I mean, the first
Wearing
one
Pikachu
I can
pants.
draw.
Pikachu pants. You
I will
can't
look up
draw
what a
yellow
wa-
pants, Gus.
Sorry?
You can't draw yellow pants.
I draw the line of yellow pants.
No, he's got
I
to
can draw anything.
he's got to wear the outfit that the kid wears in the thing.
Yeah.
The little
He's got
waistcoat
heaps
or
of
whatever
water
and the hat.
stones. They're all just falling out of his pants. He was smuggling them all in his
He's such a naughty boy.
Pikachu pants.
Nice.
All right. There is no more room left on the canvas, which is how I usually say.
Beautiful.
And Pikachu skin boots, says Sir Nib.
Yeah, good.
That's nice.
They could have little tails coming off the back of them, Pikachu tails. Like, you know what I mean? You know?
No, it's overkill.
You know what I mean?
It's overkill. Relax.
No, like, no, he's done it. Good. Yeah,
So he's just put his foot inside a Pikachu.
Hey, he scooped one out like you and a piece of bread.
Perfect.
It's like that. It's like the person who sent in the thing last week of how the foot works. It's just meat inside.
Yeah. It's Skittles inside the.
Yeah, you just chop off the top and pull it out.
That's
all right,
very
beautiful.
cute.
I love it, Gus.
Blue Panda. Any comments before we go? We still doing the 7 feet things? Saucy Lim? You better believe we are.
You better believe we are. Oh,
it's not gonna. Oh.
You better believe we are.
This is
We're
maybe
gonna
the
really
weirdest.
mess with your childhood.
I can't unsee
This may be the weirdest one we've done yet.
Now.
Sorry?
This may be the weirdest one we've done yet.
Has anyone that we've done before featured dialogue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have. None have featured arresting someone. So there's that.
There you go. Blue Panda says, I approve of all. Fantastic. Well, we are glad that we could put this together. It's been a long time coming, but I think I agree that the wait was worth it.
I look forward to seeing the finished product.
I love
This will tell a whole story.
You say that every
in one
time, and
picture.
it feels like an insult every time.
Because you're not impressed with
Yeah,
what you
you're
just
like,
did.
Well, I just want
This
to
is
remind people that he makes
average.
them look awesome as well.
Thank you, Steph.
As opposed to this, which is shit.
Just
Well,
awful.
it's a bit chaotic, but I feel like I see where it's going to go as a cohesive.
Oh, Stephanie
Wow.
Ben-Dixon.
I was just playing into the idea of, and then you
there's some
actually,
reality
you know what?
to
It's
it.
not his best work.
Give me the rope.
I just feel like a lot of my ideas were shut down.
Oh, do you?
Oh,
Yeah.
But
you're
you've
too
got
sweet. You're too sweet.
what?
But I have to be the advocate for the sweet.
I know, but that's what.
Because otherwise they're just going to be logos where poor people have like 7 feet in
But
them.
wasn't your idea of like rescuing
Yeah.
Pokemon?
Yeah.
And you kibosh the Chinese restaurant
And the lake?
and the lake and the skip.
I didn't say the skip, but no, yeah, you're right. As long that's why I'm saying I'm looking forward to
And the teeth?
the finish.
And the teeth? We know all about the teeth.
The milk teeth. Neck.
I distinctly recall. Can we go back and clip Steph saying teeth?
Yeah. And the bulging erection in Ash's pants is definitely there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Oh, God. All right.
All right. That was back Pockart. Well done, everybody. We did it.
We did
Good.
it.
Good job.
We did an art.
Come over here, Gussie.
I hate too much chocolate.
Yeah, so did I, and I didn't even eat that much. This is spicy, this one. There's something going on with this.
A spicy M&M?
No, not spicy, but like that raw sugar thing really.
I think it's because we're used to the ones with the peanut in them, and when you don't have the peanut to like break up the
they mellow
chocolate,
it out.
Yeah.
it's just like
That healthy peanut, and they're doing
the-
all the work.
It's the superior M. Okay. Do you want to close this out? Does anyone else have anything to say? I've got a present for Gus later.
Is it a post-show present?
it can be.
It can be.
I may be doing a stream tomorrow.
Oh.
I thought we were plugging stuff. I might be doing an art stream. I've got heaps of Pockarts to finish, but there is another piece of design work that needs working on, so that might be tomorrow's. I also want to do a bunch of pockety art streams as well, so it'll be one of those if it eventuates. Not 100% making promise.
Pockety art stream?
I want to do the Resi.
Oh, that.
I want to do the Resident Evil characters as pocketies.
Well, you know that
is next Friday.
yeah, cool.
Yeah. I know.
Oh, no, sorry. You said a bunch of pockety stream. I thought you meant a bunch of pockety streams, as in multiple streams. Hey, I'm in your chair. I'm catching. It's
It must be the
contagious.
vibe from down
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
That was good pretend shoveling.
Thank you very much.
Did well.
Yeah, that's all I had to plug. We're going to be doing the news on Monday, but you two won't be there.
No.
So
Because we're going to be hanging out with Blue Panda on an island full of old people.
Yeah.
wow,
Off
can
the
I
coast
come?
of Queensland.
We are the old people. Fine.
Good.
Yeah.
You, me, Will, news.
Will, you down for the news?
Sure.
That's a confident sure.
You better be, because he's running it behind the scenes.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Oh, damn.
We'll
He
see
knows
how
what's
that
going
goes.
on. It's going to be chaos stream. It's going to be good fun.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We have the post show coming up as well.
Do we?
Yeah. I got a gift for Gus.
Kidding. But people want to see it now. Is it worth giving it now? Because
Yeah, let's give it now.
Is it
Oh, no.
sweet? Is it sweet or sexy?
Is it sweet or sexy or both?
I think that's open to interpretation.
Well, we'll find out on the post show, which is coming up next, and the only way you can get access to that is by joining the Patreon and heading over to backpocket.gg, where you can sign up if you haven't already. But if you have already, you'll have that link, which will be in the Discord for the post show, where I will get my sweet, sexy present.
Oh, did you do that just because you knew that would be the highlight reel for next week? No, that little smile at the end.
You three had like a steel glare on that, so I wasn't going to look at you. I was going to look at the camera because I could tell you were all watching, going, "He's trying to do the spiel," and I'm like,
He's trying to do the spiel.
I love it.
So
I
there
love
you
it.
go.
I love it. Good job.
Is there anything else we need to talk about, or we need to plug?
I don't know. You tell us. You're in the blue chair.
Yeah.
Apparently. No, there'll be that.
No,
Oh
that's
no,
it.
the Game Club will be next Friday. So anyone who has not either caught up on the streams will be putting up the rest of Nick's playthrough of Resident Evil 8 Village on. But if you want to finish it to then talk about it with us, you could do that in the next week, because we'll be doing that next Friday afternoon.
If you do not play this game, I thoroughly recommend watching the live stream that upload on YouTube. I've given the last 2 streams to Will today because I am a very forgetful boy sometimes, and I did not hand them over.
Chat helped.
But I thoroughly recommend watching this because that game goes places. And so you do not need to play it. I would argue, don't play it. And just watch someone else play it, because you will get all the enjoyment of the game and none of the not enjoyment of the game. Yeah, it will be a fun discussion next week.
I'm
So
really
please
looking
don't.
forward to that one,
Yeah,
because
same.
it's like last time. Well, we all played right up to the end till we did it, but a lot of us, Pete and myself, and Steph, you finished only a couple of weeks ago as well. But like, we've had some time to sit there to fester.
Yeah.
And so I have many things to talk
Fester
about
is right.
for that game.
What a disgusting game.
Yeah.
Do you want to round us out? Thank guests, patrons, all that kind of stuff.
Yes, I do. I want to say thank you very much to Cameron Hopkinson and to Ashley Ringrose for joining us for the discussion at the beginning of the show about accessibility. And so if you are interested in more of their work, Ashley is the studio head of SMG, a really successful, really fantastic Australian game dev, and Cameron is a game accessibility consultant, composer and programmer, and also the co-founder of Accessibility Unlocked, which is an Australian and New Zealand initiative, and Cameron is based in New Zealand to support game developers with accessibility needs. And then also... A massive thank you to our top stitchers, Reese, Oronishi, exclamation mark Tim, Mason Not Nathan, Slowpon, LokiCat, Raj, Akrash, Kamo, Avexia, Nicrotex, Boxy, The Coastal City, Max Jazz Games, Vegabus, and A. Timothy. And there's a lot of names there there's a lot of names there. There's a lot of names there that we have not had commercials before, who now commercials exist in some capacity.
They've been shot.
And
Commercials are in the can.
It is quite exciting.
In the works. They all aren't here tonight because they all require some level of post-production, which I'm looking forward to, because it is a challenge, but also they're going to be really rude, strange, weird. I mean, you've seen the commercials. We've set the bar high enough that we just have to continually throw ourselves over it. So
They're weird. They're very weird.
Good scripts.
I just had a flashback to that shoot, Dave.
I had fun doing that. Like, a little part of me was like, we're good at this. Like, you don't reckon?
I was thinking more the like weird character that I had.
Later on.
In the other one?
You were good at that too, though. Yeah. I like that you started it and you weren't privy to. You started it, and as you started that character, Peter behind the camera goes, "Really?"
Oh, I'm so excited! Is this the second one that's just you?
Yes.
Okay, good.
So there was that.
I made an artistic choice.
You did, and I loved
so
it,
keen.
and so did Pete. But his reaction of "Really?"
I did not expect us to be there, but there we are.
And then our one in the morning was spot on the way we played.
Yeah, so good. They're all good.
They're all in a very
They're all
good
good.
mood, relaxed mood. So a lot of those commercials still to come next week as well. I was going to say one more thing. Raj! Thank you, Raj. Post show is sponsored by Raj.
That's what I was going to say. Come to the post show, sponsored by Raj, so I can give Gus his present. And it's happening right now. Let's back it.